Beloved, love is not found in the fleeting joys of harmony, it is tested in the crucible of sacrifice. It is easy to say I love you when the sun shines and the path is smooth, but true love reveals itself when storms arise and we are asked to give without measure. Love is an idea often romanticized, reduced to fleeting moments of happiness and ease. But love, in its truest essence, is far more profound and enduring. Its strength, its authenticity, is not revealed in times of comfort or joy. Instead, the true measure of love emerges in moments of sacrifice, when one must give without guarantee of return, act without expectation, and endure without complaint. It is in these moments when love is tested that its depth becomes evident. Sacrifice is love's proving ground. It is the fire through which love is purified, stripped of selfish motives and shallow attachments. To sacrifice for someone you love is to declare that their well-being, their happiness, or their growth is worth more to you than your own immediate comfort or desires. Such an act requires not only courage, but also an unshakable commitment to the bond you share. It is here, in the quiet surrender of personal wants for the sake of another, that love transcends its superficial layers and becomes something eternal. It is often misunderstood as loss, as though giving up something precious diminishes you. But true sacrifice born of love is never about loss. It is about transformation. When you give out of love, you do not lose, you expand. You move beyond the confines of the self, touching something greater, something infinite. Sacrifice reveals the limitless nature of love, for in the act of giving you connect to a divine source of abundance that replenishes and sustains. To love is to risk. Sacrifice asks us to step into the unknown, to let go of what is secure or familiar, trusting that the act itself will bring greater meaning. This trust is not always easy. Sacrifice challenges us to confront our fears of inadequacy, rejection, or betrayal. But it is precisely in facing these fears that love proves its strength. It says, even though I am afraid, even though I do not know what will come of this, I choose to give, because love demands it. We also find a reflection of our own worth. When you love someone enough to sacrifice for them, you are not diminishing yourself, you are affirming your capacity to connect, to nurture, and to grow. Sacrifice is not an act of weakness but of immense strength, for it takes great courage to put another's needs above your own. And in doing so, you align yourself with the highest expression of love, one that transcends the boundaries of self-interest. But let us also remember that sacrifice must come from a place of abundance, not emptiness. True love does not demand martyrdom or self-neglect. To measure love through sacrifice is not to say you must deplete yourself for others. Rather, it is to give from the overflow of a heart that is whole and fulfilled. Only then can sacrifice be an act of love, not obligation or resentment. When you love yourself enough to honor your own needs, you can give to others without losing yourself in the process. Love, when tested through sacrifice, reveals its divine nature. It shows us that we are not separate but deeply connected, bound by a force that transcends time and space. It is in these moments of giving that we touch eternity, experiencing a love that mirrors the Creator's infinite and unconditional outpouring. This is the true measure of love, not in the easy times, but in the hard ones, not in the gains, but in what we are willing to give. When you love, and when that love is tested, embrace the challenge. See it not as a trial to endure, but as an opportunity to deepen and expand. Each act of sacrifice, no matter how small, weaves a tapestry of connection and meaning that defines the very essence of love. And as you give, trust that love, in its infinite wisdom, will return to you in ways far greater than you can imagine. For in the end, love is never truly measured by what you receive, but by what you are willing to give, even when no one is watching. Sacrifice is often seen as a loss, a painful giving up of something valuable or cherished. Yet within the heart of sacrifice lies an extraordinary power, the ability to catalyze growth, both for the one who sacrifices and for those who are touched by their actions. Sacrifice is not an end in itself, it is a gateway to transformation, a means through which individuals and relationships can evolve to new heights of understanding, strength, and connection. To sacrifice is to step out of the confines of self-centeredness. It is to declare that something greater, love, purpose, or vision holds more significance than personal comfort or fleeting desires. In choosing to sacrifice, we break free from the narrow focus of immediate gratification and align ourselves with a deeper sense of meaning. This alignment often requires a shedding of old patterns, attachments, or fears, making room for the new and unexplored. Growth is inherently uncomfortable, and sacrifice is no different. When we give up what is familiar or secure, we are forced to confront the unknown. This confrontation can be daunting, as it challenges us to let go of control and place faith in the process of change. Yet it is precisely in this space of uncertainty that growth takes root. Sacrifice pushes us to expand our boundaries, to stretch beyond what we thought possible, and to discover strengths and capacities we never knew we possessed. Consider how sacrifice fosters resilience. Each time we willingly let go of something we value for a higher purpose, we strengthen our ability to endure and persevere. Sacrifice teaches us to focus not on the immediate discomfort, but on the larger picture. It shifts our perspective, helping us see that true fulfillment often requires temporary hardship. Through this process, we develop a fortitude that not only sustains us in moments of challenge, but also prepares us to face future trials with greater confidence and grace. Sacrifice also deepens our understanding of ourselves. When we sacrifice, we are confronted with our priorities and values. What are we willing to give up, and for whom or what? These questions compel us to examine the essence of who we are and what we stand for. In doing so, we gain clarity about our purpose and the principles that guide our lives. Sacrifice strips away superficial distractions, revealing the core of what truly matters. At the same time, sacrifice fosters connection. It is an act of love and empathy, a way of saying, I see you, and I value you enough to give of myself for your benefit. This selflessness creates bonds that are profound and enduring. Relationships are strengthened when individuals choose to put aside their own desires for the good of the other. Whether in families, friendships, or communities, sacrifice becomes the foundation upon which trust and mutual respect are built. Through the act of giving, we not only uplift others, but also create a shared experience of growth. It is important to recognize that sacrifice is not about self-neglect or martyrdom. True sacrifice comes from a place of abundance, not depletion. It is not about diminishing oneself for the sake of others, but about choosing to give from a heart that is full and aligned with purpose. When sacrifice is rooted in love and intention, it becomes a source of empowerment rather than a burden. It is not about losing oneself, but about finding a greater sense of self through the act of giving. Sacrifice also teaches us about impermanence and detachment. By letting go of what we hold dear, we learn that our worth and happiness are not tied to material possessions or external circumstances. Sacrifice reminds us that life is fluid, and growth often requires the shedding of the old to make way for the new. This process of release is not easy, but it is essential for transformation. Through sacrifice, we cultivate a mindset of adaptability and openness, qualities that are vital for personal and spiritual evolution. Sacrifice is a reflection of the divine. In giving, we mirror the Creator's infinite generosity, which sustains all of existence. Sacrifice aligns us with this higher principle, allowing us to transcend the limitations of the ego and connect with the boundless flow of love and abundance. In this way, sacrifice becomes a sacred act, a way of participating in the ongoing creation and renewal of life. As we walk the path of sacrifice, we are reminded that growth is not always linear or immediate. The rewards of sacrifice are not always visible in the moment, but they manifest over time in ways that are profound and enduring. Each act of sacrifice is a step on the journey toward becoming our highest selves, toward living a life that is rich in purpose, connection, and fulfillment. Sacrifice is not about what we lose, it is about what we gain. It is a gateway that leads us to greater love, deeper understanding, and a more expansive vision of what is possible. In choosing to sacrifice, we embrace the truth that growth requires us to let go of the lesser so that we may step into the greater. And in that choice, we find not only ourselves, but also the infinite potential of love and life. The experience of loss is one of the most profound and universal emotions in human life. It stirs feelings of grief, regret, and longing, making us believe that something precious has been taken away, leaving us diminished. Yet loss, when viewed from a higher perspective, is often not what it appears to be. What we perceive as loss is frequently an illusion, a misunderstanding born of attachment, fear, and the limitations of our current awareness. Within the concept of loss lies the potential for transformation, growth, and even deeper fulfillment. At the core of the illusion of loss is our attachment to form. We live in a world where we identify deeply with the physical, the tangible, and the familiar. We attach ourselves to people, possessions, relationships, and circumstances, believing they are the source of our happiness and security. When these attachments are disrupted, we feel an acute sense of loss, as though a part of us has been torn away. But this belief is rooted in the misconception that our sense of self is tied to external things. In truth, what we are cannot be lost, for it is infinite and unchanging. Consider this: every experience of loss is also an invitation to rediscover what is eternal within us. When something or someone we value is no longer present, we are forced to confront the temporary nature of all things. This realization can be painful, but it also opens the door to a deeper understanding. It reminds us that nothing in the material world is permanent, and clinging to it only creates suffering. Through this lens, loss is not an end, but a transition, a movement from one state of being to another. It is a lesson in detachment, teaching us to release what no longer serves us so that we can grow into something greater. Loss also challenges our perception of control. Much of our fear around loss stems from the illusion that we can hold on to things indefinitely, that we can prevent change or keep life exactly as it is. When we lose something, it feels as though the ground beneath us has shifted, leaving us unstable and uncertain. But this discomfort is an opportunity to recognize the futility of trying to control life's flow. The illusion of loss dissolves when we embrace the truth that life is dynamic, ever-changing, and inherently unpredictable. Rather than resisting this reality, we can learn to trust it, finding peace in the knowledge that every ending carries within it the seeds of a new beginning. In the midst of loss, we often fail to see the gifts it brings. Loss strips away the superficial, leaving us with the essence of what truly matters. It encourages introspection, asking us to reevaluate our priorities and values. What seemed important before may no longer hold the same weight, and what was overlooked may reveal itself as deeply meaningful. In this way, loss becomes a teacher, guiding us toward greater clarity and purpose. Loss often paves the way for transformation. What we perceive as loss is frequently a redirection, a nudge toward a path we might not have chosen otherwise. When a door closes, it may feel like a rejection or failure, but it is often an act of grace, removing something that no longer aligns with our highest good. The space left by loss is not empty, it is fertile ground for new possibilities to take root. In this way, what feels like an ending is, in truth, a beginning, a chance to reinvent, rebuild, and reimagine our lives. The illusion of loss is also tied to our linear perception of time. We see life as a sequence of moments, each passing irretrievably into the past. When we lose something, it feels as though it is gone forever, irretrievable and final. But this perspective ignores the timeless nature of reality. Love, connection, and meaning are not confined to physical presence or chronological time. They exist beyond the boundaries of what we can see or touch. What we have truly cherished is never lost, it remains a part of us, woven into the fabric of who we are. Even in the most profound losses, such as the passing of a loved one, the illusion persists. We grieve their absence, forgetting that the love and memories we shared are eternal. Their essence lives on, not just in our hearts, but in the very energy of existence. Loss, in this sense, is not an erasure, but a transformation, a shift from the physical to the spiritual, from form to formlessness. What is real and eternal can never be destroyed, it simply changes its expression. To move beyond the illusion of loss, we must cultivate a mindset of abundance and trust. Instead of focusing on what we lack, we can shift our attention to what remains and what lies ahead. Life is an endless cycle of giving and receiving, of ebb and flow. When we trust in this cycle, We begin to see loss not as a void, but as part of a greater, harmonious rhythm. In letting go, we make room for new blessings to enter our lives, often in forms we could not have anticipated. The illusion of loss is a lesson in perspective. It challenges us to look beyond appearances and recognize the deeper truths that govern our existence. Loss is not a punishment or a failure, it is a natural part of life's unfolding. It invites us to grow, to evolve, and to connect with the eternal essence that lies beyond the fleeting and the temporary. When we embrace this truth, we see that what we thought we had lost was never truly gone, it was simply transformed, waiting for us to recognize it in a new and infinite form. Imagination and sacrifice are two seemingly unrelated concepts, yet they are deeply intertwined in the journey of transformation and fulfillment. Imagination is the divine faculty that enables us to create, visualize, and shape the reality we desire, while sacrifice is the act of releasing the old to make room for the new. Together, they form a harmonious cycle. Imagination inspires the vision, and sacrifice clears the path for that vision to manifest. Without the courage to sacrifice, imagination remains a dream. Without imagination, sacrifice lacks direction and purpose. The interplay between these forces reveals profound truths about growth, creation, and the unfolding of life's potential. Imagination is the birthplace of all change. It allows us to see beyond the constraints of our current circumstances and envision possibilities that have not yet materialized. It is through imagination that we create the blueprint for our desires, infusing life with purpose and intention. However, the act of imagining alone is not enough. For our visions to take form, we must be willing to let go of what no longer serves us. Sacrifice is the bridge that connects the world of imagination to the realm of reality. It is the price we pay to align our external lives with the internal vision we hold. Sacrifice requires us to confront our attachments, habits, and fears. It demands that we step out of our comfort zones and release the familiar, even when doing so feels uncertain or painful. This act of letting go is not a loss but a necessary part of creation. Just as a gardener must clear the weeds to plant new seeds, so must we relinquish what crowds our lives to make space for the manifestation of our desires. Sacrifice, when viewed through the lens of imagination, becomes not an act of deprivation, but one of preparation, a clearing of the ground for new growth. Imagination gives us the courage to make sacrifices, for it provides a vision of what lies on the other side of letting go. Without imagination, sacrifice might seem futile, a surrender without purpose or reward. But when guided by imagination, we see the necessity of sacrifice as part of a greater process. We recognize that by releasing what is no longer aligned with our aspirations, we are actively participating in the creation of something greater. Imagination transforms sacrifice from a painful obligation into a deliberate and empowered choice. Consider the sacrifices required for personal growth. To become the person we aspire to be, we must let go of limiting beliefs, unproductive habits, and relationships that no longer nurture us. These sacrifices can feel like losses, as they often involve severing ties with parts of ourselves that have provided comfort or identity. Yet through imagination, we can visualize the person we are becoming, a version of ourselves that is freer, stronger, and more aligned with our highest purpose. This vision gives meaning to the sacrifices we make, reminding us that every release is a step toward becoming more of who we truly are. In relationships, the interplay of imagination and sacrifice is equally profound. Love often calls for sacrifices of time, ego, or personal desires in service of a deeper connection. These sacrifices can be challenging, as they require us to prioritize the well-being of another over our immediate needs. But love is sustained and deepened by the imagination of a shared future, a vision of unity and partnership that makes the sacrifices worthwhile. Imagination allows us to see the potential of the bond we are nurturing, and sacrifice becomes the means by which that potential is realized. Sacrifice also plays a crucial role in the collective imagination. Throughout history, great societal changes have been fueled by individuals and communities willing to make sacrifices for a vision of a better world. Activists, innovators, and leaders have given up comfort, security, and even their lives to bring forth new realities. Their sacrifices were not in vain, but were driven by an unwavering belief in what could be. This dynamic continues today, as collective imagination inspires sacrifices that pave the way for progress and transformation. The relationship between imagination and sacrifice is not one-sided, it is reciprocal. While imagination inspires sacrifice, sacrifice also strengthens imagination. When we let go of the old, we create a vacuum that invites new ideas, possibilities, and insights to emerge. Sacrifice clears mental and emotional clutter, freeing us to imagine with greater clarity and creativity. It is in the act of releasing that we often discover new depths of imagination, as the very process of letting go expands our perception of what is possible. This cycle of imagination and sacrifice mirrors the natural rhythms of life. Just as seasons change and old leaves fall to nourish the earth, so must we continually release the old to make way for the new. Sacrifice is not a one-time act, but an ongoing practice, a willingness to embrace the impermanence of life and trust in the process of renewal. Imagination provides the vision that guides us through these cycles, ensuring that each sacrifice serves a higher purpose. Imagination and sacrifice teach us about the nature of abundance. While sacrifice might seem like a loss, it is, in truth, an act of faith in the infinite possibilities of creation. It is the willingness to believe that what we let go of will be replaced by something even greater, something that aligns more closely with our truest desires and aspirations. Imagination reassures us of this truth, showing us glimpses of the future we are creating through our sacrifices. Together, imagination and sacrifice remind us that life is not static, but a constant flow of becoming. To imagine is to dream of what could be, to sacrifice is to act in alignment with that dream. In their union lies the power to transform not only our individual lives, but the world around us, as we continually co-create a reality that reflects the boundless potential of the human spirit. Love, at its essence, is an act of faith. It is the willingness to trust, to give, and to open oneself to the unknown without guarantees. Love does not come with certainty, nor does it promise a smooth path free of pain or disappointment. Yet despite these uncertainties, we choose to love because deep within we recognize its transformative power. Love requires faith, not only in others, but also in ourselves, in life, and in the unseen forces that shape our experiences. It is through this faith that love transcends mere emotion and becomes a profound force for connection and growth. To love is to step into vulnerability. It is to open our hearts, knowing there is a possibility of hurt. The very act of loving someone exposes us to the risk of rejection, loss, or betrayal. Yet we love anyway, because faith assures us that the rewards of connection outweigh the risks. Faith in love does not mean ignoring the potential for pain, rather. It is the belief that the journey of love, with all its challenges, is worth undertaking. It is a trust in the inherent goodness of love and its ability to enrich our lives. Faith in love also requires letting go of control. When we love, we cannot dictate how the other person will respond, nor can we predict how the relationship will evolve. Love thrives in the space of freedom, where both individuals are allowed to grow and express themselves authentically. This freedom, however, can be unsettling because it forces us to release our grip on outcomes. Faith bridges this gap, reminding us that love is not about possession or guarantees, but about presence, acceptance, and shared moments of connection. Love is an act of faith because it often demands patience and perseverance. In relationships, love is not always effortless. There are times of misunderstanding, frustration, and even conflict. During these moments, faith sustains love by encouraging us to see beyond the immediate challenges and remember the deeper bond that unites us. Faith allows us to trust that, with effort and commitment, love can weather storms and emerge stronger on the other side. It is this faith that transforms love from a fleeting feeling into a resilient and enduring force. Love also requires faith in oneself. To truly love another, we must first believe in our own worthiness to give and receive love. This self-belief is not always easy, as we often carry doubts, insecurities, and fears of rejection. Yet love invites us to trust in our capacity to connect and to be vulnerable. It encourages us to see ourselves as whole and deserving, reminding us that we are enough just as we are. Faith in ourselves allows us to approach love with an open heart, unburdened by the need for constant validation or reassurance. Faith in love extends beyond individual relationships. It encompasses a broader trust in life itself. Love asks us to believe in the unseen, in the intangible bonds that connect us to others and to the world. It is a reminder that we are not separate but deeply interconnected, and that our acts of love ripple outward in ways we may never fully understand. This faith in the unseen nature of love encourages us to act with kindness, compassion, and generosity, even when we do not immediately see the impact of our actions. Love as an act of faith also teaches us about surrender. To love is to let go of ego, pride, and the need to always be right. It is to prioritize connection over winning, understanding over judgment, and unity over division. This surrender requires faith in the transformative power of love, that by letting go of self-centeredness, we create space for deeper intimacy and harmony. Love invites us to trust that in giving of ourselves, we do not lose but gain something far greater. Furthermore, love often calls us to embrace the unknown. Whether it is the love between partners, friends, or family members, every act of love involves stepping into a future that cannot be predicted. We do not know how the story will unfold, what challenges will arise, or how the relationship will evolve. Yet we choose to love, because faith assures us that the journey is worthwhile, regardless of the outcome. This faith allows us to cherish the present moment, to celebrate the joy of connection without being consumed by fear of what might come. Love as an act of faith reminds us of the eternal nature of love itself. Even when relationships end, whether through separation or loss, the love we have shared does not vanish. It becomes a part of us, shaping who we are and how we move forward. Faith in love assures us that it is never wasted. Every act of love contributes to the greater tapestry of our lives, enriching our souls and deepening our understanding of what it means to be human. To love is to believe in the goodness of others, in the resilience of the human heart, and in the boundless possibilities of connection. Love requires us to trust in something greater than ourselves, something that cannot be measured or proven but is felt deeply within. It is through this faith that love transcends fear and limitation, becoming a force that transforms not only our relationships but also our very existence. In choosing to love, we affirm our faith in life itself, embracing its uncertainties with open hearts and the unwavering belief that love, in all its forms, is the greatest gift we can give and receive. The depth of love is not revealed in moments of ease and comfort. It is tested in the crucible of challenges, sacrifices, and uncertainties. Love, in its truest form, is not just an emotion or fleeting feeling but a profound commitment that withstands the trials of life. These tests reveal the strength, resilience, and authenticity of love, stripping away superficial layers to uncover its enduring essence. To test the depth of love is to see how it responds when the path grows uncertain, the skies darken, and sacrifice is demanded. At the core of love's testing lies the willingness to endure discomfort for the sake of connection. Love, when genuine, does not retreat when faced with hardship. It steps forward, embracing challenges with courage and grace. In times of adversity, love shifts from being a passive experience to an active choice. It is no longer about what one receives, but about what one is willing to give. The depth of love is reflected in the sacrifices one is prepared to make, not out of obligation, but from a heartfelt desire to preserve and nurture the bond. Love's depth is revealed in its capacity for patience and perseverance. In a world that often seeks instant gratification, love asks for time. It requires patience during moments of misunderstanding, frustration, or conflict. It perseveres through periods of distance or disconnection, holding on to the belief that the bond is worth nurturing. This enduring quality of love demonstrates its strength, as it remains steadfast, even when circumstances challenge its stability. The testing of love also involves navigating change. Life is inherently dynamic, and individuals within a relationship grow and evolve over time. These changes can strain even the strongest bonds, as they may challenge previously held expectations or dynamics. Yet, the depth of love is proven in its ability to adapt and embrace growth. Instead of resisting change, deep love finds ways to evolve alongside it, creating new pathways for connection and understanding. It does not cling to a fixed idea of what the relationship should be, but instead flows with the natural shifts of life. One of the most profound tests of love is forgiveness. To truly love is to recognize the humanity of the other person, their flaws, mistakes, and imperfections. Forgiveness is not about condoning hurtful actions, but about choosing to move forward without holding on to resentment. It is an act of grace that allows love to heal and grow stronger. Forgiveness requires humility and empathy, qualities that reflect the depth of one's commitment to the relationship. When love can withstand the pain of betrayal or disappointment and still choose reconciliation, it reveals its resilience and transformative power. Testing the depth of love also challenges the ego. Love calls for selflessness, asking individuals to look beyond their own needs and desires. This does not mean abandoning oneself, but finding a balance where both parties feel valued and supported. Love tests the ego by requiring acts of humility, such as admitting when one is wrong, apologizing sincerely, or putting the other person's happiness before one's pride. These moments of humility demonstrate a love that is not rooted in control or domination, but in mutual respect and care. Another significant aspect of love's testing is its response to loss and separation. Whether through physical distance, emotional disconnection, or the inevitable reality of mortality, love often faces the pain of absence. The depth of love is revealed in its ability to transcend these separations, holding on to the connection even when circumstances make it difficult. Love that endures loss is a testament to its profound nature, as it demonstrates that the bond is not contingent on external conditions, but exists as a constant within the heart. The testing of love is not about creating obstacles for the sake of validation, but about revealing its true nature. These tests are inherent to life itself, as no relationship or bond exists without challenges. The depth of love is not measured by its perfection, but by its ability to navigate imperfections with grace, compassion, and resilience. It is through these tests that love moves from being a fleeting emotion to a lasting commitment, grounded in mutual understanding and shared purpose. In every test, love has the opportunity to deepen, to grow stronger, and to reveal its truest form. It is not diminished by challenges, but refined, like gold in the fire. The depth of love is found not in its ease, but in its endurance, in its ability to rise above difficulties, to embrace sacrifice, and to remain steadfast through life's uncertainties. To love deeply is to accept these tests not as burdens, but as opportunities to connect more profoundly with oneself, with others, and with the very essence of life. Self-love and sacrifice may seem at odds, yet they exist in a delicate balance that defines the essence of a fulfilled life. At its core, self-love is about honoring one's own worth and recognizing the inherent value of one's existence. Sacrifice, on the other hand, is the act of giving up something valuable for a greater good or higher purpose. While the two concepts may appear contradictory, they are deeply interconnected, each enriching the other when understood correctly. Self-love provides the foundation from which sacrifice can emerge authentically, while sacrifice often serves as a profound expression of self-love in action. To love oneself is not to live selfishly or to prioritize personal desires at the expense of others. Instead, self-love means nurturing a sense of inner worth that allows one to act with integrity and intention. Without this grounding in self-love, sacrifice can become distorted, leading to resentment, exhaustion, or feelings of inadequacy. Sacrifice that arises from a place of self-neglect is often unsustainable and may result in emotional depletion. And true self-love ensures that sacrifices are made from a place of abundance rather than lack, allowing them to be meaningful and fulfilling rather than burdensome. Self-love and sacrifice are intricately linked in the context of personal growth. To truly love oneself is to embrace the ongoing journey of becoming, which often requires letting go of old patterns, habits, or attachments that no longer serve. This process of sacrifice, releasing what is familiar to make room for what is possible, is a testament to self-love in action. It is a recognition that growth sometimes requires discomfort, and that the act of surrendering is not a loss but an investment in one's future self. By willingly making these sacrifices, individuals honor their potential and affirm their commitment to living authentically. Self-love and sacrifice are also profoundly spiritual concepts, reflecting the interconnectedness of all life. To truly love oneself is to recognize one's place within a greater whole, understanding that individual well-being is intricately linked to the well-being of others. Sacrifice, when guided by self-love, becomes an expression of this interconnectedness, a way of contributing to the collective good without losing oneself in the process. Whether it is giving time to a cause, sharing resources with those in need, or offering support to a friend, these acts of sacrifice are grounded in the awareness that love and generosity flow most freely from a place of inner abundance. The relationship between self-love and sacrifice is one of reciprocity and balance. Self-love provides the strength and clarity needed to make sacrifices that are meaningful and aligned with one's purpose. Sacrifice, in turn, deepens self-love by affirming one's capacity to give generously and to act in service of something greater than oneself. Together, they create a dynamic interplay that enriches both individual and collective existence, reminding us that the path to fulfillment lies not in choosing between self and others, but in embracing the interconnectedness of both. Love, in its purest form, is a reflection of the divine. It transcends the limitations of the human experience, reaching beyond the boundaries of the material world to connect us with something higher, something greater than ourselves. When we experience love in its truest sense, we are not just witnessing an emotional connection with another person, we are touching the divine essence that flows through all of existence. This divine reflection of love reveals the interconnectedness of all beings, the unity of spirit, and the eternal truth that love is the force that binds the universe together. At its core, divine love is not bound by time or space. It is an eternal energy that exists beyond the constructs of human perception. While human love often depends on external circumstances, desires, or conditions, divine love operates on a different level. It is unconditional, unchanging, and all-encompassing. So, when we experience this type of love, we feel a profound connection to the universe, as if we are one with everything around us. It is in these moments that we realize that love is not something we simply give or receive, it is something that flows through us, something that we are a part of. Love as a divine reflection invites us to see the world with new eyes. It asks us to recognize the divine spark in everyone we meet, to see the soul behind the physical form. When we understand that love is not limited to personal relationships but extends to all beings, all things, we begin to experience life differently. We no longer view others as separate from us. We see them as reflections of the same divine energy that flows through us. This recognition fosters compassion, empathy, and a deep understanding of the interconnectedness of all life. The divine reflection of love also teaches us about the nature of creation itself. Just as a reflection in a mirror is an image of the original object, love is a reflection of the divine source from which it originates. The universe itself, with all its beauty, complexity, and harmony, is an expression of this love. Everything in existence is a manifestation of the divine energy that seeks to express itself through love. Whether it is the beauty of a sunset, the bond between two people, or the quiet stillness of nature, love is present everywhere. It is the force that brings everything into being, sustains it, and ultimately returns it to its source. In this sense, love is the driving force behind all creation. It is not something we can control or manipulate. It is something that flows through us when we open ourselves to it. Divine love is a force of nature, much like gravity or light, that exists independently of our will, but can be experienced when we align ourselves with its flow. Just as we cannot force the sun to shine, we cannot force love to manifest. However, when we attune ourselves to the divine, when we open our hearts and minds, love flows effortlessly into our lives. transforming us in the process. This divine love is also a mirror for our own spiritual growth. When we experience love in its highest form, we are not just connecting with another person, but we are also connecting with the divine within ourselves. In loving another, we come to understand more deeply who we are, as we reflect the divine love that resides within us. This love teaches us that we are not separate from the divine, we are expressions of it, each of us a unique reflection of the same source. As we grow in our understanding of this divine love, we begin to see the divine in all aspects of life, from the simplest to the most complex, from the mundane to the extraordinary. Divine love also invites us to transcend the ego. The ego is the part of us that defines ourselves by our thoughts, our possessions, and our achievements. It often creates separation between us and others, convincing us that we are individual beings separate from the rest of the world. Divine love, however, calls us to let go of the ego and recognize the unity of all things. When we experience divine love, we see that we are not separate from others, but rather deeply connected to them. The boundaries between us dissolve, and we come to understand that we are all part of the same divine whole. This realization brings peace, as we no longer feel the need to compete, to prove ourselves, or to protect our sense of self. Instead, we can simply be, embracing the love that flows through us and through others. The divine reflection of love teaches us the power of surrender. In our daily lives, we often struggle to control the outcome of our actions, to force things to go a certain way. We may try to manipulate our circumstances or hold on to things that no longer serve us. However, divine love teaches us that true peace comes from surrender to the flow of life, surrender to the divine will. When we let go of our need to control, we make space for love to enter, for divine energy to guide us. Surrendering does not mean giving up, it means trusting in the divine plan, knowing that love is always at work, even in the most difficult moments. Love as a divine reflection also calls us to embody grace and forgiveness. When we understand that love is not personal but universal, we begin to forgive more easily. We recognize that those who hurt us are also expressions of the same divine energy, and through this understanding we find it easier to let go of grudges and to forgive. Forgiveness is not about excusing harmful behavior, it is about releasing ourselves from the bondage of anger and resentment, allowing love to flow freely once again. Thank you for your time and attention. May you continue to embrace the divine reflection of love in your life, allowing it to guide and inspire you on your journey. Imagine standing at the crossroads of your dreams and your doubts. The world around you seems to shout, "It cannot be done yet." Within you, a quiet voice whispers, "It is already yours." This is the art of believing beyond reason, of stepping into a reality that is unseen but undeniably real. Imagination is the seed of reality. This simple yet profound truth holds the key to understanding how life unfolds. Every great invention, every monumental breakthrough, every life-changing decision originates as a spark of imagination. It is through this faculty that we create, transform, and bring into existence that which was once invisible. Imagination is not just a fleeting daydream, it is the womb of reality, the sacred space where desires take root and begin their journey into the tangible world. When we consider the concept of imagination, it is tempting to dismiss it as mere fantasy, a harmless indulgence that has no bearing on the real world, yet history tells a different story. Every skyscraper that pierces the sky, every symphony that stirs the soul, every cure that saves a life was once an idea in someone's mind. The world we experience today is a tapestry woven from the threads of countless imaginations. Nothing exists in the physical realm that did not first exist as a vision, a thought, or a feeling within the mind of its creator. This truth applies not only to great inventors, artists, and thinkers, but to every individual. Each of us is endowed with this creative faculty, a gift that allows us to shape our lives in extraordinary ways. However, the challenge lies in understanding the power of imagination and learning to wield it consciously. Most people use their imagination unconsciously, allowing it to be dominated by fear, doubt, and negative expectations. They envision worst-case scenarios, dwell on failures, and rehearse the very outcomes they wish to avoid. This misuse of imagination sows seeds of despair and frustration, yielding a harvest of unwanted circumstances. To harness the true potential of imagination, we must first recognize it as the seed of reality. Just as a seed contains the blueprint for a towering oak or a vibrant rose, so too does imagination carry the blueprint for the life we wish to live. But a seed does not grow without care. It must be planted in fertile soil, nurtured with water and sunlight, and protected from weeds that threaten to choke its growth. Similarly, our imaginative visions must be cultivated with belief, nourished with feelings of certainty, and shielded from the doubts and distractions that seek to undermine them. The process begins with clarity. To plant a seed, we must know what we wish to grow. Vague or scattered desires yield little. It is the focused, specific vision that takes root most effectively. What do you truly desire? What life do you wish to create? Be bold in your imagining, for there are no limits to what you can conceive. The mind does not differentiate between what is realistic and what is unrealistic. It simply responds to the images and feelings you feed it, working tirelessly to bring them to fruition. Once the seed is planted, the next step is to nurture it with feeling. Imagination without emotion is like a seed without water. It remains dormant, inert. To activate the creative power of your imagination, you must feel as though your desire is already fulfilled. This is not mere wishful thinking. It is an intentional act of aligning your inner state with the reality you wish to experience. When you vividly imagine and deeply feel the reality of your desire, you are sending out a signal that the universe cannot ignore. The journey from seed to reality is not always instantaneous. Patience and persistence are essential. Just as a farmer does not dig up a seed every day to check its progress, neither should we doubt the process of creation. Trust in the unseen forces at work. Trust that the seed of your imagination is growing, even when there is no visible evidence. The most magnificent transformations often occur beneath the surface, in silence and stillness. Imagination also requires protection. The world is full of distractions, naysayers, and circumstances that may tempt you to abandon your vision. These are the weeds that threaten to stifle your imagination. Guard your mind against negativity. Surround yourself with people, environments, and influences that uplift and inspire you. Remind yourself daily of your vision, reaffirming your commitment to it. The more you nurture and protect your imagination, the more powerfully it will manifest. It is important to note that imagination is not limited by the boundaries of logic or reason. It transcends the constraints of the physical world, allowing you to explore possibilities that may seem impossible. This is its greatest gift. Logic is bound by what is. Imagination is free to envision what can be. When you dare to imagine beyond the evidence of your senses, you are planting seeds for miracles. In this process, imagination becomes not just a tool, but a way of life. It shifts your perspective, enabling you to see the world not as it is, but as it could be. It fills you with a sense of possibility, a quiet assurance that you hold the power to create your destiny. The more you practice using your imagination consciously, the more natural it becomes, and the more effortlessly your desires flow into your experience. Imagination is the bridge between the seen and the unseen, the known and the unknown, the present and the future. It is the divine faculty through which we co-create with the universe, transforming thought into matter, desire into reality. To embrace this truth is to reclaim your creative power. Your imagination is a garden waiting to be cultivated, a field brimming with infinite potential. Plant your seeds wisely, tend them with care, and watch as they blossom into the life of your dreams. The world you see around you is not separate from you. It is a mirror reflecting the state of your inner world. Every thought you think, every belief you hold, and every feeling you nurture casts its shadow upon the external reality you call life. This connection between the inner and outer worlds is absolute, unwavering, and inescapable. It is not fate or chance that governs your experiences, but the invisible currents of your mind. To understand this is to hold the key to transforming your life from the inside out. Most people live as though the external world dictates their reality. They react to circumstances, blame conditions, and believe themselves powerless to influence their lives. Yet, this is a profound misunderstanding of how life works. The outer world is merely the effect, the cause lies within. Change the cause, and the effect must follow. This is not wishful thinking or philosophical abstraction, it is a fundamental law of existence. Consider the mind as the projector and the world as the screen. What you project onto the screen of life is determined by the film running in the projector, that is, the images and beliefs in your consciousness. If you desire to see a different picture on the screen, you must change the film. It is futile to manipulate the screen itself, for it only reflects what is being projected. Similarly, it is futile to attempt to change your life by focusing solely on external conditions. True change begins within. Your inner world comprises your thoughts, beliefs, and emotions, and these elements work together to create your experiences. Thoughts are the building blocks, forming the structure of your reality. A persistent thought, repeated with conviction, becomes a belief. Beliefs, in turn, act as filters, coloring your perception of the world and influencing your actions. Emotions infuse these thoughts and beliefs with energy, turning them into powerful magnets that draw corresponding experiences into your life. When your inner world is harmonious, your outer world reflects that harmony. You attract relationships, opportunities, and circumstances that align with your sense of peace and purpose. Conversely, when your inner world is chaotic, dominated by fear, doubt, and negativity, your outer world mirrors that chaos. The principle is simple: what you nurture within, you will encounter without. To transform your life, you must first become a master gardener of your inner world. This begins with awareness. Pay attention to the thoughts you think habitually, the beliefs you hold as truth, and the emotions you entertain. Are they aligned with the life you desire, or do they contradict it? Often people discover that their inner dialogue is dominated by self-doubt, criticism, and limitation. These mental habits are like weeds, choking the growth of your dreams. The next step is to consciously choose your thoughts and beliefs. This is not a matter of pretending or suppressing negativity, but of replacing it with a more empowering narrative. When a limiting thought arises, challenge it. Replace it with a thought that aligns with your desired reality. Over time, this practice reshapes your belief system, creating a fertile ground for your dreams to grow. Emotions play a crucial role in this process. They are the fuel that powers your creative engine. When you feel joy, gratitude, and love, you emit a vibration that attracts corresponding experiences. Conversely, emotions like fear, anger, and despair lower your vibration, drawing experiences that match those feelings. To shift your emotional state, focus on what brings you joy. Engage in activities that uplift your spirit, and practice gratitude for the blessings you already have. Gratitude is particularly potent, for it aligns you with abundance and opens the door to greater blessings. Visualization is another powerful tool for shaping your inner world. Close your eyes and imagine the life you wish to create. See it clearly in vivid detail, as though it is already yours. Feel the emotions of fulfillment, success, and happiness. The more real it feels in your imagination, the more powerfully it influences your inner state. Visualization is not about escaping reality, but about creating it. By holding a clear and consistent vision in your mind, you set the stage for its manifestation. The outer world will inevitably reflect your inner changes, but the process requires patience and persistence. Just as a seed takes time to grow into a tree, your inner transformation may not yield immediate results. Trust in the process. Do not be swayed by temporary appearances, for they are merely echoes of your past state of mind. Hold steadfastly to your vision, and the outer world will catch up. This principle applies to every area of life: relationships, career, health, and personal growth. If you seek love, cultivate love within yourself. If you desire abundance, adopt a mindset of abundance. If you wish for peace, create peace in your thoughts and emotions. The outer world cannot give you what you are unwilling to give yourself. Your inner world is your sanctuary, your workshop, your sacred space. Guard it with vigilance, nurture it with care, and use it wisely. When you take full responsibility for your inner state, you reclaim your power to shape your life. No longer a victim of circumstance, you become the creator of your destiny. The world you see is not separate from you, it is you. Change within, and the world will change with you. Faith is the invisible thread that connects your inner vision to the outer world. It is the bridge between the unseen realm of imagination and the tangible reality you seek to create. Without faith, imagination remains a seed that is never nurtured, a dream that never ventures beyond the confines of the mind. Faith gives imagination its wings, transforming it from a fleeting thought into a lived experience. Faith is not mere hope or blind optimism. It is a deep, unwavering conviction that what you imagine is not only possible but inevitable. It is the quiet assurance that the unseen is as real as the seen, and the unmanifested is already on its way to becoming. Faith does not rely on evidence or external validation. It moves in spite of appearances, choosing to believe in the reality of the vision even when all reason denies it. This is why faith is so powerful. It operates beyond the limitations of the senses and logic. The senses tell you what is, faith tells you what can be. Logic confines you to the realm of what seems achievable. Faith expands your vision to encompass the miraculous. When you possess true faith, you no longer question whether your desire will come to pass. You live as though it already has, and in doing so, you align yourself with its reality. Faith is the active principle that energizes your imagination. When you imagine a desired outcome, faith breathes life into that image, infusing it with the substance needed to take form. Without faith, imagination is like a flame without fuel. It may flicker for a moment, but will soon die out. With faith, that flame becomes a roaring fire, consuming doubt and lighting the path to your dreams. The power of faith lies in its ability to hold steady, even in the face of challenges. Life often tests your faith with delays, setbacks, and appearances that contradict your vision. These are not signs that your faith is misplaced, they are opportunities to deepen it. True faith remains unshaken by temporary circumstances, knowing that these are but fleeting shadows compared to the enduring reality of the vision. Faith also demands action. To truly believe in your vision is to act as though it is already realized. This does not mean forcing or striving, but aligning your thoughts, words, and actions with the reality you are creating. If you believe in abundance, let your actions reflect generosity and confidence. If you believe in love, embody kindness and understanding. If you believe in success, approach each day with purpose and determination. Faith without action is like a seed left unplanted. It holds potential but produces no harvest. Faith requires trust, not just in the process, but in yourself. You must trust that the vision within you is divinely inspired, that your desires are not random but intentional. You must trust that the same power that placed the desire in your heart also provides the means to fulfill it. When doubt arises, remind yourself that the process of creation is not yours to control, it is yours to believe in. Your role is to imagine, feel, and act in alignment, leaving the details of manifestation to the infinite intelligence that governs all things. Faith is not an emotion that comes and goes, it is a choice you make daily. Each moment offers you the opportunity to reaffirm your belief or to give in to doubt. The more you choose faith, the stronger it becomes, until it becomes a natural part of who you are. Faith is a muscle that grows with use, and with time, it becomes the foundation upon which your life is built. When faith is strong, obstacles lose their power to discourage. You no longer see delays as denials, but as part of the unfolding process. You trust that every step, no matter how small or insignificant it seems, is bringing you closer to your vision. Faith allows you to move forward with confidence, even when the path is unclear, knowing that each step will reveal the next. Faith is the bridge that allows you to walk from imagination to reality. It connects the inner and outer worlds, making the invisible visible and the impossible possible. Faith is not a passive belief, but an active force, a commitment to your vision that transcends doubt, fear, and uncertainty. When you nurture your imagination with unwavering faith, you align yourself with the creative power of the universe, and the life you desire becomes not just a possibility, but a certainty. Imagination, no matter how vivid, and faith, no matter how unwavering, require persistence to bring their fruits into reality. The process of creation is rarely instantaneous, it unfolds in its own perfect time. Persistence is the bridge that keeps you connected to your vision when the world around you offers no evidence of its arrival. It is the quiet, steadfast resolve to remain faithful to your inner reality, no matter how long it takes to materialize. The journey of manifestation often tests your patience and determination. There will be moments when progress feels slow or non-existent, when doubt whispers that your efforts are in vain. These moments are not failures but part of the natural rhythm of creation. Like seeds planted in the soil, your desires must go through an unseen phase of growth before they can bloom. It is during this phase that persistence becomes your greatest ally. Persistence is not about forcing or striving, it is about remaining aligned with your vision in thought, feeling, and action. It is about returning to your imagination each day, reinforcing your faith, and acting as though your desire is already fulfilled. It is a quiet but powerful commitment to the truth of your inner world, even when the outer world suggests otherwise. To persist is to trust the process. The universe operates on laws that are precise and unerring. Just as a farmer trusts that a seed will sprout when given time and care, you must trust that your desires will come to fruition when you remain consistent in your belief and action. Doubt and impatience disrupt this process, like digging up a seed to check if it is growing. Persistence, on the other hand, creates a steady flow of energy that supports the manifestation of your vision. Persistence requires discipline over your thoughts, emotions, and reactions. It means refusing to entertain doubt, fear, or negativity, no matter how tempting they may be. It means turning away from appearances that contradict your vision and focusing instead on the reality you are creating. This discipline is not about suppression, but about choice, the choice to prioritize your inner truth over external distractions. One of the greatest challenges to persistence is the influence of others. Well-meaning friends, family, or society may question your vision, pointing to evidence that it is unrealistic or unattainable. They may try to impose their limitations on you, not out of malice but out of their own fear and doubt. In these moments, persistence means holding on to your vision with even greater determination. It means trusting your inner guidance above all external voices. Persistence also requires adaptability. The path to your desire may not unfold exactly as you imagined. There may be detours, delays, or unexpected challenges. These are not signs that you are off track, they are opportunities to grow, learn, and refine your vision. Persistence means staying committed to the end result while being flexible in your approach. It means trusting that the universe knows the best way to bring your desire to you, even if it looks different from what you initially envisioned. Celebrate small victories along the way. Each step forward, no matter how small, is evidence that your persistence is paying off. These moments of progress fuel your motivation and reinforce your belief in the process. Acknowledge them with gratitude, for they are signs that the seeds you have planted are beginning to sprout. Persistence is a quiet strength. It does not shout or demand, it simply endures. It is the force that keeps you moving forward when the journey feels long, the light that guides you when the path grows dim. Persistence does not waver in the face of setbacks or discouragement. It holds steadfast to the vision, knowing that what is seen in the mind must eventually be seen in the world. Through persistence, you demonstrate your commitment to your vision and your trust in the creative process. You show the universe that you are serious about your desires, that you are willing to remain faithful to them no matter what. This steadfast energy aligns you with the flow of creation, ensuring that your vision will manifest in perfect timing. Persistence is not a burden but a joy. It is the act of nurturing your dreams, of staying connected to your inner truth, and of watching with anticipation as your desires take shape. It is the quiet, steady force that transforms imagination and faith into reality. In the end, persistence is not just the key to manifestation, it is the essence of mastery. Through it, you prove to yourself and the world that you are not a victim of circumstance, but a creator of your destiny. To manifest your desires, you must embody the state of fulfillment, as though your dream has already come to pass. This is the ultimate act of alignment between your inner world and the reality you wish to create. The secret lies in living from your desire, not merely thinking about it or wishing for it. When you align your thoughts, feelings, and actions with the reality you seek, you invite that reality to unfold effortlessly in your life. To embody the state of fulfillment is to feel, in this very moment, the emotions you would experience if your desire were already a fact. If you long for love, feel the warmth and joy of being loved now. If you desire success, walk with the confidence of someone who has already achieved it. If you seek peace, breathe deeply and immerse yourself in its stillness. By aligning your emotional state with the end you desire, you activate the creative power within you to bring it forth. Your subconscious mind cannot distinguish between what is imagined and what is real. When you assume the state of fulfillment, your subconscious accepts it as truth and begins to work tirelessly to align your outer world with this new reality. This process does not rely on force or effort, but on the natural laws of creation. Your state of being becomes a magnet, drawing to you the circumstances, people, and opportunities that resonate with your inner condition. This embodiment requires a shift in identity. You must see yourself not as someone who is striving for a goal, but as someone who already possesses it. Instead of asking, when will it happen or how will it come to me? Declare that it is already yours. Speak, think, and act from the perspective of the person you wish to be. This shift in identity creates a powerful alignment between your current self and the version of you that lives in the reality you desire. Living in the state of fulfillment also means releasing attachment to the outcome. When you truly feel that your desire is already fulfilled, there is no need to grasp or chase after it. You do not beg for what you already have. This sense of detachment allows the manifestation process to flow naturally, free from the resistance created by anxiety or impatience. Doubt and fear may arise, tempting you to revert to old patterns of thinking and feeling. In these moments, remind yourself of the truth the reality you wish to create is already present within you. Use tools such as visualization, affirmations, and meditation to anchor yourself in the state of fulfillment. These practices help you return to the feeling of your wish fulfilled, reinforcing the inner conviction that your desire is already a fact. Consistency is key. To embody the state of fulfillment, you must practice it daily, moment by moment, until it becomes second nature. This does not mean suppressing your current emotions or pretending that challenges do not exist. Instead, it means consciously choosing to return to the feeling of fulfillment whenever you find yourself drifting into doubt or fear. Over time, this practice reshapes your inner world, creating a new baseline of belief and expectation. The outer world may not immediately reflect your inner transformation, but this does not mean that nothing is happening. Manifestation often occurs in unseen ways, with changes happening behind the scenes before they become visible. Trust that the process is unfolding perfectly and continue to embody the state of fulfillment with unwavering faith. Embodying the state of fulfillment is about becoming the creator of your reality rather than a passive observer. It is about stepping into your power and claiming your birthright as a co-creator with the universe. When you live from the state of your wish fulfilled, you align yourself with the infinite possibilities of life, transforming imagination into reality and dreams into destiny. The power of assumption is one of the most transformative principles in the journey of creation and manifestation. At its core, it is the understanding that the reality you experience is a direct reflection of the assumptions you hold. An assumption is more than a fleeting thought, it is a deeply ingrained belief about yourself, others, and the world. It is the lens through which you interpret life, and it shapes your experiences with remarkable precision. What you assume to be true, whether consciously or unconsciously, sets the foundation for your reality. When you assume success, opportunities seem to arise effortlessly. When you assume failure, obstacles appear at every turn. The external world mirrors the internal state of your mind, as though it were a faithful servant responding to the commands you issue through your assumptions. This is not a matter of wishful thinking, but a profound law of creation that governs every aspect of existence. Assumption begins with imagination. The mind is the fertile ground where all assumptions are formed. What you vividly imagine and accept as true creates a blueprint for your life. If you repeatedly see yourself as confident, capable, and abundant, you assume these qualities as part of your identity. Over time, this inner conviction crystallizes into your external reality. The mind does not discriminate between what is real and what is imagined. It responds to the clarity and intensity of the image you hold. To harness the power of assumption, you must become deliberate in your thinking. Many people live as victims of their circumstances, unaware that they perpetuate their struggles through unconscious assumptions. They accept lack, limitation, and struggle as inevitable truths, reinforcing these experiences in their lives. The first step to change is awareness, recognizing the assumptions that dominate your thoughts and understanding how they influence your reality. Once you identify limiting assumptions, you can replace them with empowering ones. This process requires intention and discipline. Begin by choosing a specific desire or goal and crafting an assumption that aligns with its fulfillment. For instance, if you seek love, assume that you are deeply loved and cherished. If you desire success, assume that opportunities flow to you effortlessly. This assumption must be felt as true, not merely thought about. The power lies in embodying the feeling of the fulfilled desire, as though it were already a fact. The feeling is the secret to making an assumption effective. The mind is not moved by empty words or superficial affirmations. It responds to the emotional conviction behind them. When you assume your desire is already yours, you generate a sense of certainty and gratitude. This emotional alignment sends a powerful signal to the subconscious mind, which begins to reorganize your reality to match the assumption. It draws the people, events, and circumstances necessary for your desire to manifest. This principle is most effective when applied persistently. Assumptions, like seeds, require time to grow. You may not see immediate evidence of change, but this does not mean the process is not working. It is during these moments of apparent stagnation that faith is crucial. Trust that the new assumption is taking root, even if the outer world seems unchanged. Continue to dwell in the feeling of the fulfilled desire, knowing that it is only a matter of time before it becomes visible. Doubt and resistance are natural challenges in this process. The mind may revert to old patterns of thinking, questioning the validity of the new assumption. These moments are opportunities for growth. Instead of giving in to doubt, reaffirm your assumption with even greater conviction. Use tools such as visualization, affirmations, and meditation to anchor yourself in the state of your fulfilled desire. Over time, this practice rewires your subconscious mind, making the new assumption a natural part of your belief system. The beauty of the power of assumption is its simplicity. You do not need to rely on external forces, elaborate rituals, or arduous effort to change your reality. All you need is the ability to assume and feel the reality you desire. This principle is available to everyone, regardless of their circumstances. It is not bound by logic or limitations. It operates in the realm of infinite possibility. Assumption also requires a willingness to let go of the how. When you assume your desire is already fulfilled, you release the need to control the details of its manifestation. This surrender allows the universe to work on your behalf, orchestrating events in ways you could not have imagined. Trust that the process is unfolding perfectly, even if it does not follow the timeline or method you expected. The more you release attachment to the outcome, the more effortlessly your assumption will materialize. The power of assumption is about reclaiming your creative authority. It is a reminder that you are not a passive participant in life, but an active creator. Your assumptions shape your experiences, and by choosing them consciously, you can transform every aspect of your reality. The world responds not to what you want, but to what you assume to be true. By assuming the best, you open the door to a life of infinite possibilities, where your desires are not distant dreams, but living realities. Doubt is the silent saboteur of creation. It undermines the foundation of belief and disrupts the flow of manifestation. When you hold a vision, an idea, or a desire, it requires unwavering conviction to bring it into reality. Doubt, however, acts as a counterforce, pulling you away from the state of certainty required for creation to thrive. It whispers questions of what if and how, shaking the confidence necessary to manifest your goals. To understand doubt's impact is to recognize why it must be consciously replaced with trust and faith. Doubt arises from fear and a reliance on external evidence. When you cannot see immediate results, the mind begins to question whether your efforts are worthwhile. It clings to the logic of the material world, asking for proof before it will believe. But the process of creation does not operate on evidence, it operates on conviction. It demands that you first believe, even in the absence of tangible signs, and allow the evidence to follow. Doubt interrupts this sequence, placing the demand for validation ahead of belief and halting the flow of manifestation. Every thought and feeling you entertain carries a vibrational frequency, shaping your reality. When you dwell in faith, you emit a signal of confidence and alignment, drawing experiences that resonate with your desires. Doubt, however, introduces discord into this frequency. It creates a state of internal conflict, where your desire and disbelief battle for dominance. This conflict weakens your focus and scatters your creative energy, delaying or even preventing the manifestation of your goal. Doubt often disguises itself as practicality or caution. It convinces you to play small, to hedge your bets, and to prepare for disappointment. While prudence has its place in certain aspects of life, doubt in the realm of creation is always counterproductive. It anchors you to the status quo, making it impossible to rise above current circumstances. True creation requires a leap of faith, a willingness to trust in the unseen, and to hold steadfast to your vision despite appearances. To overcome doubt, you must first understand its source. It stems from a belief in separation, the idea that you and your desire are apart, that the forces necessary for its fulfillment lie beyond your control. This illusion creates anxiety and uncertainty, causing you to question your power as a creator. The antidote to doubt is the realization that creation is an inside-out process. You are not waiting for the external world to grant you permission to succeed. The power lies within you to assume and embody your desired state, allowing the outer world to follow suit. The process of overcoming doubt begins with awareness. Acknowledge its presence without judgment, understanding that it is a natural part of the human experience. Resistance to doubt only amplifies its power. Acceptance, on the other hand, creates space for transformation. Once you recognize doubt for what it is, a temporary state of mind, you can consciously choose to replace it with faith. Faith is not blind optimism or the denial of challenges. It is the inner knowing that your vision is already accomplished. It is the calm assurance that the creative process is always at work, even when the results are not yet visible. Faith does not require proof or external validation. It thrives in the unseen, trusting that the desired outcome is on its way. By cultivating faith, you neutralize the energy of doubt and restore alignment with your creative power. Visualization is a powerful tool for overcoming doubt. When you vividly imagine your desire as already fulfilled, you immerse yourself in the feeling of accomplishment. This emotional resonance strengthens your belief and diminishes the influence of doubt. Repetition is key. Return to your vision daily, allowing it to become more real in your mind than any contradictory external circumstance. Affirmations also serve as an effective counter to doubt. By repeating statements that reinforce your belief in your vision, you reprogram your subconscious mind to align with your desired outcome. These affirmations must be spoken with conviction and feeling, as their power lies in the emotional charge they carry. For example, instead of saying, "I hope I achieve this," declare, "I am already living my desired reality." Another critical practice is detachment from the outcome. When you cling too tightly to your desire, you create resistance born of fear and impatience. Detachment does not mean giving up on your goal. It means trusting the process and releasing the need to control every detail. This surrender allows the creative forces of the universe to work on your behalf, unimpeded by the interference of doubt. Surrounding yourself with positivity and inspiration also helps fortify your belief. Seek out stories of others who have achieved what you desire, letting their success remind you of what is possible. Avoid environments or conversations that feed doubt, and instead immerse yourself in affirming and empowering influences. Persistence is essential. Doubt may not disappear overnight, but with consistent effort, you can weaken its grip. Each time you choose faith over fear, you strengthen your creative power. Over time, doubt will lose its influence, replaced by an unshakable conviction in your ability to shape your reality. In the absence of doubt, creation flows effortlessly. Your vision becomes clear, your energy aligns, and the universe responds with precision. The journey to manifestation is no longer a struggle, but a harmonious unfolding. By replacing doubt with faith, you reclaim your role as a deliberate creator, transforming your desires into living reality. To ignore the evidence of the senses is to step into a realm of creation, where the seen gives way to the unseen, and the material world becomes a reflection of inner conviction. The senses, though invaluable for navigating the physical world, are limited in their ability to comprehend the vast, infinite power of imagination and belief. They tether us to what is, and often blind us to what could be. To manifest your desires and live a life beyond the constraints of your current reality, you must learn to look past the immediate evidence of the senses and trust in the unseen power of your inner world. The senses report only what exists now. They are the chroniclers of the past, for everything you see, hear, touch, taste, or smell in the present moment is the result of previous thoughts, beliefs, and actions. They do not reveal the potential of what you can create. If you allow yourself to be guided solely by what the senses present, you become trapped in a loop, perpetually recreating the same circumstances. True transformation requires the courage to look beyond what is and focus on what you desire to bring into being. Ignoring the evidence of the senses does not mean denying reality or rejecting the material world. It means refusing to let external appearances dictate your inner state. For instance, if you desire abundance, but your current circumstances reflect lack, dwelling on what the senses show will only reinforce the feeling of scarcity. Instead, you must turn inward, using imagination and belief to align yourself with the reality you wish to create. By assuming the feeling of your desire fulfilled, you plant the seed of its manifestation, regardless of the evidence around you. This principle is not a rejection of logic, but an acknowledgement of a higher order of reality. The senses operate within the realm of the known, while creation occurs in the realm of the unknown. To manifest something new, you must step beyond the limitations of logic and embrace the power of imagination. Imagination is the bridge between the seen and the unseen, the finite and the infinite. It allows you to envision possibilities that transcend your current circumstances, making the impossible possible. Faith plays a crucial role in ignoring the evidence of the senses. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. It is the conviction that your desire is already a reality, even when there is no physical proof. Faith is not blind belief, but a deep inner knowing that what you hold in your mind and heart will inevitably materialize. By cultivating faith, you anchor yourself in the reality of your desire, rendering the current evidence of the senses irrelevant. This process requires persistence and discipline. The senses are loud and insistent, constantly drawing your attention to the present moment. It is easy to become discouraged when your outer reality contradicts your inner vision. However, this is precisely when you must stand firm in your belief. The gap between your desire and its manifestation is a test of your commitment to the creative process. Each time you choose to focus on your vision rather than your circumstances, you strengthen your ability to ignore the evidence of the senses and align with the reality you wish to create. Visualization is a powerful tool for this purpose. By vividly imagining your desire as already fulfilled, you shift your focus from what is to what can be. When done with feeling and conviction, visualization creates a mental image so real that it begins to override the evidence of the senses. The subconscious mind, which cannot distinguish between real and imagined experiences, accepts this image as truth and works to bring it into physical form. The more you practice visualization, the easier it becomes to ignore the present evidence and live in the reality of your desired outcome. Another essential practice is gratitude. By expressing gratitude for your desire as though it is already fulfilled, you affirm your belief in its manifestation. Gratitude shifts your focus from lack to abundance, creating a sense of fulfillment that magnetizes your desire into being. It also reinforces the idea that your desire is not something distant or unattainable, but a present reality that is unfolding in divine timing. Detachment is equally important. Ignoring the evidence of the senses does not mean obsessing over your desire or constantly looking for signs of its manifestation. True detachment is the ability to trust the process and let go of the need to control the outcome. When you detach, you release the resistance created by doubt and impatience, allowing the creative forces of the universe to work on your behalf. Surrounding yourself with positivity and inspiration also helps maintain your focus. Seek out stories of others who have successfully manifested their desires despite overwhelming evidence to the contrary. Let their journeys remind you of the power of belief and the limitless potential of creation. Avoid negativity and skepticism, which only reinforce the evidence of the senses and weaken your resolve. Ignoring the evidence of the senses is not about escaping reality, but about reshaping it. It is about recognizing that the external world is a mirror of your inner state, and that change begins within. By refusing to be swayed by appearances and instead anchoring yourself in the reality of your desire, you become the master of your destiny. The senses may tell you what is, but your imagination and belief tell you what can be. Trust in the unseen, hold fast to your vision, and watch as the evidence of the senses transforms to reflect the reality you have created. Speaking as if it were already done is one of the most powerful principles in the art of creation. It requires a deliberate choice to align your words with the reality you desire to manifest, rather than with the current circumstances visible to your senses. Words carry immense power. They shape your beliefs, influence your emotions, and communicate to the universe the state of being you have chosen to embody. When you speak as though your desire is already accomplished, you affirm its existence and anchor yourself in the reality of its fulfillment. The act of speaking in the present tense about something you wish to manifest is not about pretending or lying to yourself. It is about stepping into the state of already having what you desire. This shift in language transforms your inner world, reshaping your thoughts and feelings to align with the outcome you seek. The subconscious mind, which governs much of your behavior and creates your reality, takes your words as truth. When you declare that something is already done, the subconscious begins to organize your actions and experiences to reflect that reality. Speaking as if it were already done also cultivates the feeling of fulfillment. Feelings are the fuel of creation. They amplify the vibrational frequency you emit and attract corresponding experiences. When you speak in the language of completion, saying, "I am, I have," or "it is done," you generate the emotions associated with having your desire. These feelings elevate your vibration, making you a magnet for the reality you wish to experience. This principle requires trust and faith. It is easy to speak from the evidence of your senses, to declare what you see and experience in the present moment. However, this perpetuates the status quo, as your words reinforce your current circumstances. To manifest something new, you must break free from this cycle and speak from the perspective of your desired outcome. This requires you to believe in the unseen and to trust that your words have the power to shape your reality. For example, if your desire is financial abundance, you must avoid statements like "I am struggling" or "I don't have enough." Instead, speak in the language of abundance. "I am financially free. I have everything I need and more, or wealth flows to me effortlessly." These declarations may feel unnatural at first, especially if your external reality contradicts them. But with practice, they become second nature, and their power begins to manifest in your life. Consistency is key when speaking as if it were already done. Your words must align with your vision at all times, not just in moments of intentional focus. Casual conversations, inner dialogue, and even passing remarks must reflect the reality you wish to create. Each word you speak reinforces a belief system, either strengthening or weakening your ability to manifest. By consciously choosing language that affirms your desire, you build a foundation of belief that becomes unshakable over time. It is also important to embody the emotions behind your words. Speaking as if it were already done is not a mechanical process, it is a heartfelt expression of faith and certainty. When you say, "I am healthy," feel the vitality coursing through your body. When you declare, "I am loved," immerse yourself in the warmth and joy of being cherished. The combination of words and emotions creates a powerful resonance that accelerates the manifestation process. Doubt and negativity have no place in this practice. If you find yourself slipping into statements that contradict your desire, gently redirect your focus. Instead of saying, "I hope this works," affirm, "It is already working." Instead of lamenting, "I don't see any changes," declare, "Change is happening now. Even if I can't see it yet." This shift in language not only strengthens your belief, but also keeps you aligned with the state of your desire. Visualization can amplify the effectiveness of speaking as if it were already done. As you declare your desire fulfilled, picture it vividly in your mind. See yourself living the reality you have spoken into existence. Combine your words with mental imagery to create a multisensory experience that impresses your subconscious with the certainty of your vision. The more real it feels in your imagination, the more powerfully it will manifest in your external world. Gratitude is another powerful tool to complement this practice. By expressing thanks for your desire as though it has already been fulfilled, you reinforce the state of having. Gratitude shifts your focus from lack to abundance, creating a sense of completion and satisfaction that magnetizes your desire to you. Begin and end each day with declarations of gratitude for your fulfilled vision, anchoring yourself in the reality you wish to create. Speaking as if it were already done is not a passive exercise. It requires boldness and confidence. It challenges you to rise above appearances and claim your role as the creator of your reality. It demands that you take ownership of your words and use them with intention and purpose. Each time you declare your desire fulfilled, you assert your creative power and strengthen your connection to the outcome you seek. The beauty of this practice lies in its simplicity. You do not need elaborate rituals or complex techniques. You only need your voice and the willingness to believe in the power of your words. Speak with conviction. Align your language with your vision and trust that what you declare is already done. In doing so, you shift from a state of wanting to a state of having, paving the way for your desires to manifest effortlessly into your life. Creation begins in the mind, for it is the mind that shapes, forms, and brings into existence the realities we experience. The external world is a reflection of the internal landscape. What you see, touch, and feel in your life is a direct result of the thoughts, beliefs, and imaginations that have been planted and nurtured in your mind. The power of the mind is often underestimated, yet it is the first and most essential tool in the process of creation. To change your life, you must first change your mind, for in the mind resides the potential to create the life you desire. The mind is a vast, fertile field, capable of generating endless possibilities. Every thought you have, whether conscious or subconscious, carries a vibrational energy that attracts experiences that match it. But this is the law of attraction in its purest form. What you focus on, you become. The more energy and attention you give to a particular thought or belief, the more real it becomes in your experience. Your mind does not distinguish between positive or negative thoughts. It simply manifests whatever it believes to be true. Therefore, if you are continually thinking about lack, struggle, or limitation, your mind will create situations that reflect those beliefs. Conversely, if you fill your mind with thoughts of abundance, health, love, and success, your life will shift to reflect those thoughts. Imagination is one of the most powerful tools the mind possesses. It is through imagination that we visualize and feel into the reality we desire. The more vividly and emotionally charged our imagination, the more real and tangible our desires become. Imagination allows you to transcend the limitations of the physical world and step into the realm of possibility. It provides the mental blueprint for what can be. Every invention, every great achievement, every masterpiece of art began as a thought in someone's mind. The mind creates first, and then the external world follows suit. If you can imagine it, you can create it. The key to creation lies not in merely imagining something once, but in consistently dwelling upon the vision until it becomes a living, breathing part of your being. This is where the power of belief comes into play. Belief is the engine that powers creation. What you believe in your mind will manifest in your life, for the mind does not question the validity of your beliefs, it simply acts on them. If you believe that you are destined for greatness, the mind will find ways to make that belief a reality. If you believe you are unworthy or incapable, your mind will create experiences that reinforce those limitations. The process of creation in the mind begins with setting a clear intention. To create something, you must first know what you want. This clarity acts as a guide, directing your thoughts and energy toward a specific goal or outcome. Once your intention is set, the mind begins to work on your behalf, aligning thoughts, feelings, and actions toward that goal. This is why it is so important to be specific in your desires. Vague desires result in vague outcomes. The more precise and clear you are about what you want to create, the more focused your mind becomes, and the quicker the universe aligns with your intention. After setting your intention, the next step is to persist in the mental creation. This means consistently thinking about and imagining your desired outcome, even when external circumstances suggest otherwise. The mind must be conditioned to hold the vision of what you want, and this requires practice. It is easy to become distracted by the evidence of the senses, the tangible reality that you see and hear around you. However, true creation requires a shift in focus, away from the physical world and toward the unseen, toward the world of thought and imagination. During this time of mental conditioning, it is essential to believe that your desire is already a reality. Speak and think as if it has already come to pass. When you speak of your desire as if it is already fulfilled, you send a message to your subconscious that it is so. This creates a powerful alignment between your conscious and subconscious minds, propelling your desires into reality. A common obstacle in the process of creation is doubt. Doubt arises when the external world does not immediately reflect the vision held in the mind. It is important to remember that doubt only weakens the creative process. When you doubt, you send mixed signals to your mind, creating confusion and resistance. The mind cannot create effectively when it is conflicted. This is why unwavering faith in the power of your mind is necessary. If you consistently hold the belief that your desires are already in motion, you maintain a positive flow of energy that supports creation. Patience is also essential when creation begins in the mind. Just as a seed must be nurtured before it can grow into a tree, your desires need time to manifest. The mind must be allowed to work through the layers of your current circumstances, dissolving old beliefs and creating new ones. The more persistent and patient you are with your mental creation, the sooner it will appear in physical form. Another powerful tool in this process is gratitude. Gratitude serves as a reminder to the mind that what you desire is already here, even if it has not yet manifested in the physical world. When you practice gratitude for your desires, as though they are already fulfilled, you align yourself with the frequency of having. This not only strengthens your belief, but also magnifies the creative power of your mind. Creation begins in the mind. The mind is the source of all reality, and what you think, feel, and believe shapes the life you experience. By using the power of intention, imagination, belief, and persistence, you can create anything you desire. The key is to remain consistent in your mental creation, to ignore the evidence of the senses, and to trust in the power of your mind. When you do this, your desires will inevitably manifest, for creation starts in the mind and then unfolds in the world around you. In conclusion, the power to shape and transform your reality lies within your mind. Every thought, belief, and feeling you hold has the potential to create the life you desire. By harnessing the power of imagination, assumption, and unwavering belief, you can bring forth the desires of your heart. Remember, creation begins in the mind, and what you focus on will inevitably manifest in your life. It is not a matter of waiting for circumstances to change it. is about changing your internal world first, and then watching as the external world follows suit. Trust the process, stay patient, and speak with confidence as if it is already done. Thank you for your time, and may you continue to create the life you envision with power and clarity. You walk into a room. Without uttering a single word, people turn their heads. They don't know why, but something about you caught their attention. They feel something, and that something is the energy you radiate. You are not just a body moving through time and space. You are a being of energy, vibrating with a unique frequency that extends far beyond your physical form. Every cell, every thought, every emotion you experience is part of an intricate dance of energy that is constantly interacting with the world around you. Your presence, even when you remain silent, emanates a powerful energy that others can feel, even if they cannot always explain it. This is the fundamental truth: you are energy. When you begin to understand that you are energy, everything changes. You realize that what you feel on the inside, your thoughts, your emotions, your beliefs, creates the energy that you radiate outward. Every single moment, whether you are aware of it or not, you are broadcasting a signal to the universe and to those around you. This energy is a reflection of your inner world, and it is this energy that attracts people, opportunities, and circumstances into your life. You are constantly transmitting your frequency, and the world around you is responding to it. Think about it. You can walk into a room and instantly sense the atmosphere. You may not know exactly why, but you can feel if the energy is warm, welcoming, tense, or heavy. This is because you too are a sensitive being, and your energy interacts with the energy around you. It's an exchange that is constantly happening, whether you are consciously aware of it or not. The people you encounter, the spaces you enter, are all influenced by the energy you bring with you. You are never disconnected from the flow of energy in your surroundings. You are always part of it. When you understand that you are energy, you also begin to realize that you have control over the frequency you emit. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, contributes to the vibration you send out into the world. If you walk around with negative thoughts and heavy emotions, that energy becomes your reality. People around you will feel it, whether they consciously realize it or not. You may find that you attract negativity, conflict, or difficulty because your energy is aligned with those experiences. But when you choose to cultivate positive thoughts, to focus on love, peace, and gratitude, your energy shifts. It becomes lighter, brighter, and more expansive. You begin to attract people, opportunities, and situations that match the high frequency you are now radiating. The more you focus on uplifting thoughts and positive emotions, the more you align with the highest energy available to you. The people around you will sense this transformation, and consciously or unconsciously, they will be drawn to your energy. Your energy does not only affect those around you, it also affects you. The way you feel about yourself directly impacts the way you perceive the world. If you are filled with self-doubt, fear, or insecurity, your energy will reflect that, and the world will mirror those feelings back to you. But when you embrace a sense of self-worth, confidence, and peace, your energy shifts, and you begin to see a world that is more supportive, loving, and abundant. Your perception changes, and so does your experience. The energy you project is what shapes the reality you live in. One of the most powerful things you can do is take responsibility for the energy you carry. You must become aware of the thoughts and feelings that influence your energy. When you become conscious of what you are thinking and feeling, you can make intentional choices about how you want to feel and what kind of energy you want to radiate. You are not at the mercy of your emotions or circumstances. You have the ability to change your energy, and when you do, you change everything around you. When you align with the energy of love, abundance, and gratitude, you create an atmosphere that others cannot help but be drawn to. You become magnetic, not because of your appearance or your words, but because of the energy you carry. Your energy speaks louder than anything you could ever say. People pick up on your vibration, and it influences how they respond to you. They may feel inspired, uplifted, or at ease just by being in your presence. The truth is, energy is contagious. When you are filled with positive energy, Others can feel it and are naturally influenced by it. You have the power to shape your energy at any moment. No matter what is happening in the world around you, you can choose to shift your focus and change your inner state. By doing so, you raise your energy, and when you raise your energy, you raise your energy, you raise your entire life. The world will begin to reflect back the energy you emit, bringing you closer to your desires, your goals, and your dreams. It all begins with the awareness that you are energy. Your energy is not just a passive force, it is a creative power. It shapes your world and the world of those around you. When you choose to master your energy, you become the master of your reality. Your energy creates your experience, and in this truth lies the power to create a life that aligns with your deepest desires and truest self. You are energy, and that energy is everything. Your inner state is far more than just a collection of thoughts or fleeting emotions. It is the most powerful force in shaping the life you experience. It is the magnetic force that attracts everything you encounter in your world: people, circumstances, opportunities, and challenges. It's important to understand that your inner state, the way you feel, the emotional state you occupy, is like a magnet. Whatever you feel deeply on the inside, you draw towards you on the outside. The power of your inner state begins with the realization that your thoughts and emotions are not just passing states, they are creating your reality. The way you feel about yourself, your life, and the world around you sends out a signal to the universe. This signal acts like a magnetic force that pulls corresponding experiences and people toward you. When you are filled with fear, doubt, or worry, you are essentially broadcasting a frequency that resonates with more of the same energy. The universe, being responsive to the energy you send out, brings you experiences that match that vibration. You will find yourself attracting situations that reflect your inner state of unease, struggle, or limitation. On the other hand, when you cultivate an inner state of peace, love, joy, and confidence, you become a magnet for these positive experiences. The more you align your thoughts and emotions with the higher frequencies of gratitude, love, and abundance, the more you draw these experiences into your life. Just like a magnet pulls metal towards it, your inner state attracts people, circumstances, and opportunities that mirror the energy you are embodying. This is the universal law of attraction in its simplest form. What you feel, you attract. The most important aspect of this is that you are always emitting energy, whether you are consciously aware of it or not. If you are unaware of the emotional state you are operating from, you might find yourself unintentionally attracting situations that don't align with your desires. This is why awareness of your inner state is so crucial. By becoming conscious of how you feel, you gain the power to change it. If you don't like what you are attracting, take a moment to check in with your feelings. Are you feeling frustrated, hopeless, or stressed? These emotions are sending out a message to the universe, and that message is being reflected back to you in the form of challenging experiences. But you can change that. When you begin to focus on positive thoughts and emotions, you shift your inner state. When you choose to feel gratitude, even for the small things, you elevate your vibration. When you choose to feel abundant, even if your circumstances do not appear to be abundant, you begin to shift the energy you are sending out. The more you practice this, the more you will begin to notice changes in your life. You will start to see how opportunities begin to open up, how people treat you differently, and how the universe seems to bring more of what you want into your life. What's more, your inner state is contagious. The energy you carry influences others around you. If you are radiating calm, positivity, and confidence, people around you can feel it, even if they don't consciously recognize it. They are drawn to you because your energy resonates with them. You have the power to uplift those around you simply by maintaining a positive inner state. People often become inspired or feel at ease simply by being in your presence, because they are subconsciously responding to the energy you are putting out. In this way, your inner state doesn't just affect you, it affects everyone and everything in your life. It's like casting a stone into a pond. Your inner state creates ripples that touch everyone and everything around you. When you shift your energy, you also shift the dynamics of your relationships, your work, your finances, and your health. Positive energy attracts positive people. positive experiences, and positive circumstances. Negative energy, on the other hand, will pull negativity towards you. It's essential to realize that you have the power to direct your energy. You are not a victim of your circumstances, and you are not at the mercy of your emotions. When you become aware of your inner state, you take back control. You can consciously choose how you want to feel. By doing this, you are shaping the reality you experience. You are no longer simply reacting to life, you are actively creating it. So remember this, your inner state is a magnet. Whatever you feel deeply is what you attract. By learning to align your thoughts and emotions with the energy you wish to attract, you become the architect of your life. Take control of your inner state and watch as your world begins to shift in ways you may never have imagined. The energy you emit is the world you create, and when you master that energy, you master your destiny. Energy speaks louder than words, because it is the unspoken language of the universe. While words can convey meaning, energy communicates the true essence of what we are feeling, thinking, and experiencing. Every individual carries a unique energy, and this energy flows outward, impacting everything around them. Words can sometimes be deceptive or limited, but energy is authentic and undeniable. It reveals truths about us that words often cannot express or may try to hide. When you walk into a room, your energy enters first, long before you say a word. People may not consciously know what it is, but they can feel it. The way you carry yourself, the subtle vibration you emanate, is felt by everyone in your presence. Whether you are aware of it or not, your energy is constantly broadcasting your inner state to the world. It speaks volumes, and it speaks truthfully. It doesn't need words to make an impact, it just is. When we communicate, words are often the least important aspect of the conversation. The underlying energy, the emotional tone that accompanies the words is what truly matters. Think about a time when someone said something that appeared kind, but you sensed something wasn't right. Maybe their words were reassuring, but their energy conveyed something different, maybe fear, insecurity, or manipulation. You may not have been able to articulate it at the time, but on a deeper level, you recognize that the energy didn't align with the words. That is because energy is the true communicator. It is raw, unfiltered, and powerful. It cannot be hidden behind a mask or altered with words. The power of energy also lies in its ability to create connection without the need for verbal communication. Consider a deep friendship or a relationship where no words are necessary to understand each other. There's a knowing, a connection that goes beyond words. You can feel each other's energy, and this deep connection is often more profound than anything words could express. You intuitively understand how the other person is feeling because their energy speaks louder than what they say. This is why it's essential to be mindful of your inner state and the energy you project. Your energy shapes your world more powerfully than your words ever will. If you are constantly focused on negative thoughts, self-doubt, or fear, your energy will reflect that, and you will find yourself encountering more of the same. But when you choose to shift your energy to one of gratitude, love, and abundance, you begin to see your reality shift accordingly. People begin to respond to you differently, opportunities arise, and life starts to feel lighter and more aligned with your desires. The energy you bring to any situation is the most significant contribution you make. Whether in a conversation, a meeting, or a gathering, your energy is the driving force behind the interaction. It sets the tone, creates the atmosphere, and influences how others feel and behave. Words are important, but energy is the foundation. It is the silent language that communicates the most powerful truths, the most authentic expressions of who we are. You control the frequency you radiate, and that frequency shapes everything around you. Think of yourself as a transmitter, constantly emitting a signal into the universe. This signal is the energy you carry within your thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and attitudes. Every thought you think, every feeling you experience, and every belief you hold is a part of the frequency you are sending out. This frequency, much like a radio signal, interacts with the world, drawing experiences, people, and circumstances into your life that match the vibration you're emitting. Many people are unaware that they are constantly radiating a frequency. Most of the time, they are simply responding to external stimuli, letting their emotions and thoughts be governed by the circumstances around them. However, this external influence doesn't have to control you. In fact, you have the power to choose the frequency you emit. Your inner state is like a dial on a radio, and you can adjust it at any time to tune into the frequency that aligns with your desires and intentions. The first step in taking control of the frequency you radiate is awareness. You must be conscious of how you feel and the thoughts that dominate your mind. Are they positive, uplifting, and aligned with your desires? Or are they negative, fear-based, and focused on lack or limitation? Every thought and feeling you entertain affects your frequency, so it's crucial to be mindful of what you're thinking and how you're feeling. When you focus on gratitude, love, abundance, and positivity, you raise your frequency. Conversely, when you dwell on fear, worry, frustration, or doubt, you lower your vibration. The beauty of this is that you have the power to shift your frequency at any moment. You are not a passive recipient of the world's energy, you are an active creator of your own reality. If you find yourself feeling negative or low, you can change the channel. Begin by focusing on something that brings you joy, something you are grateful for, or something that makes you feel loved and appreciated. Shift your thoughts and emotions in the direction of what you want, rather than what you fear or what is currently lacking in your life. As you adjust your frequency, you will begin to notice that the world around you starts to reflect this new energy. People will respond to you differently, situations will shift, and new opportunities will start to appear. It's also important to understand that your frequency is not just about your thoughts and feelings, it's also about your beliefs. Your beliefs are the core programming that influences your thoughts and emotions, and they ultimately shape your reality. If you believe that you are worthy of success, love, and abundance, you will radiate a frequency that attracts those things into your life. However, if you believe that you are unworthy, incapable, or undeserving, your frequency will align with those beliefs, and you will experience situations that reinforce them. This is why it's so essential to work on your self-belief and to reprogram any limiting beliefs that are keeping your frequency low. One powerful way to change your frequency is through the practice of visualization. When you imagine yourself living the life you desire, feeling the emotions of already having what you want, you align your inner state with the energy of your desires. Visualization helps you tune your frequency to the vibration of the life you want to create. As you visualize, you're not just thinking about your desires, you are feeling the emotions as if they are already real. This emotional charge sends out a powerful signal to the universe, telling it what you want to attract. Another way to control your frequency is through affirmations. Affirmations are positive statements that you repeat to yourself, aligning your thoughts and feelings with the frequency of what you want. When you say things like, "I am worthy of love and abundance," or "I attract positive opportunities into my life," you are consciously choosing a frequency of abundance and positivity. The more you repeat these affirmations, the more your thoughts and beliefs shift, and the higher your vibration becomes. Your frequency also impacts the people and situations you attract. Like attracts like, so if you are radiating a high frequency of joy, love, and abundance, you will attract people and experiences that match that energy. Conversely, if you are stuck in a low frequency of fear, doubt, or negativity, you will attract situations and people that reinforce those feelings. By taking control of your frequency, you take control of the people and circumstances that enter your life. This is why it's so important to surround yourself with people who lift you up and inspire you. Their positive energy will help to elevate your frequency, and in turn, you will attract even more positivity into your life. The frequency you radiate is also tied to your self-worth. When you recognize that you are worthy of all the good things life has to offer, your frequency naturally rises. You stop settling for less, and you start attracting more of what you truly desire. On the other hand, if you struggle with self-doubt or feelings of unworthiness, you will unconsciously project that energy into the world, attracting experiences that reinforce those beliefs. Your worthiness is reflected in the frequency you send out, and when you raise that frequency, you raise your worthiness and your capacity to receive. Controlling the frequency you radiate is one of the most powerful tools you have for creating the life you desire. You are not a victim of your circumstances, you are the creator of your reality. By consciously choosing to radiate a higher frequency, you open yourself up to greater possibilities, deeper connections, and more fulfilling experiences. The world around you will begin to mirror the energy you send out, and you will see that your external reality is simply a reflection of your inner state. Take control of your frequency and watch as your life transforms in ways you never thought possible. What you hold in mind is what you broadcast to the world. Every thought, feeling, and belief that occupies your mind sends out a signal, creating a vibration that resonates with the universe. This is not just a theoretical concept, it is a fundamental truth that governs your life. Whether you are aware of it or not, you are constantly transmitting your inner world, and the energy you send out influences the circumstances, people, and experiences you attract. The universe responds to your thoughts and feelings, matching them with similar energy. Your mind is incredibly powerful. It shapes your perception of the world and determines the way you experience reality. When you focus on positive, empowering thoughts, you broadcast a frequency of abundance, success, and joy. Conversely, when you dwell on negativity, fear, or self-doubt, you send out a frequency of lack, struggle, and frustration. This energetic broadcast is not limited to your conscious thoughts, it includes your subconscious mind as well, which plays a significant role in what you attract into your life. When you focus on what you want, rather than what you don't want, you are more likely to attract it. The key is to hold the image of your desires firmly in your mind, and to feel the emotions associated with them. Visualization is a powerful tool for this. When you visualize yourself already living the life you desire, you align your thoughts and emotions with that reality. You start to emit the frequency of your desired outcome, sending a signal to the universe that you are ready to receive it. This not only shifts your mindset, but it also alters the energy you radiate, which in turn attracts the people, opportunities, and circumstances that align with your desires. But it's not just about wishing for something and hoping it will appear. You must embody the vibration of what you want. If you want love, for example, you must hold the thought of love in your mind and feel the emotions of love. If you want abundance, you must think abundantly and feel abundant. This is where the power of emotions comes in. Your feelings are the fuel that amplifies your thoughts. When you think positively, but feel negatively, you are sending mixed signals which can confuse the universe and delay your manifestation. The alignment between your thoughts and feelings is crucial in broadcasting the right signal. One of the most powerful ways to ensure that you are broadcasting the frequency of what you want is to practice mindfulness. Pay attention to your thoughts and notice when they shift toward negativity or doubt. If you find yourself thinking about what you don't want or fearing the worst, consciously redirect your thoughts to what you do want. Replace worry with trust, fear with confidence, and lack with abundance. By doing so, you take control of the frequency you are broadcasting, ensuring that it aligns with your desires. Your subconscious mind also plays a pivotal role in what you broadcast. While your conscious mind is the thinking mind, the subconscious is the emotional mind, and it governs much of your behavior, beliefs, and reactions. If your subconscious mind is programmed with limiting beliefs or negative thought patterns, it can sabotage your efforts to create the life you desire. This is why it's important to reprogram your subconscious by consistently feeding it with positive affirmations, visualizations, and empowering beliefs. As you shift your subconscious programming, you begin to broadcast a different energy, one that aligns with your true desires and purpose. Another important aspect of broadcasting the right energy is the law of attraction. This universal law states that like attracts like. In other words, the energy you put out into the world will attract similar energy back to you. If you are constantly holding thoughts of gratitude, abundance, and love in your mind, you will attract more of those things into your life. On the other hand, if you focus on fear, lack, or negativity, you will attract experiences that mirror those feelings. The law of attraction works whether you are aware of it or not, so it's crucial to be mindful of what you are thinking and feeling at all times. It's important to note that what you hold in mind is not just about the things you consciously think about. Your habitual thoughts and feelings are just as important. If you constantly worry about money, for instance, you are broadcasting a frequency of lack. If you frequently think about your past mistakes or failures, you are broadcasting a frequency of regret and limitation. These subconscious thought patterns can unknowingly keep you stuck in a cycle of attracting more of what you don't want. That's why it's essential to become aware of your habitual thoughts and to replace them with thoughts that are aligned with your desired reality. In addition to your thoughts and feelings, your actions also play a role in what you broadcast. Actions are a reflection of your inner state and reinforce the frequency you are sending out. When you take inspired action toward your goals, you are reinforcing your commitment to manifesting your desires. This action, coupled with the right thoughts and feelings, amplifies the signal you are broadcasting, making it more likely that the universe will respond with the people, resources, and opportunities that align with your vision. What you hold in mind is what you broadcast because your mind creates your reality. The thoughts and emotions you focus on are like a magnet, drawing experiences into your life that match your frequency. If you want to create a life filled with love, success, and abundance, you must focus on those things in your mind. You must cultivate the feelings of already having them, and you must take inspired action to bring them into your life. By consciously choosing the thoughts, feelings, and beliefs that align with your desires, you are broadcasting the frequency of your dreams. The universe will respond by bringing you closer to what you are radiating. Energy is contagious, and it spreads far beyond our conscious awareness. It is a force that flows from one person to another, shaping interactions, environments, and experiences. You may not realize it, but the energy you carry within you affects everyone around you. Whether you are aware of it or not, your emotional state, thoughts, and energy radiate out and influence the people you encounter. Likewise, the energy of others can impact you, affecting your mood, thoughts, and actions. This is why it is so important to be mindful of the energy you surround yourself with, and to consciously choose the energy you project. The energy you emit is not limited to just your thoughts and feelings. It encompasses your entire being, your body language, your tone of voice, your presence, and even your unspoken intentions. When you enter a room, the energy you bring with you can either uplift or drain the people around you. A person who exudes positivity, warmth, and enthusiasm naturally attracts others who resonate with that energy. On the other hand, someone who radiates negativity, frustration, or anger can create tension and discomfort in those nearby. This is why it's often said that energy speaks louder than words. The energy you carry communicates far more than your words ever could, influencing how people respond to you and how situations unfold. Your energy is contagious because it operates on a subconscious level. People are highly sensitive to the energy of others, even if they don't consciously recognize it. Have you ever walked into a room and immediately felt the mood shift, even though no one said anything? Or have you ever been around someone who, no matter how quiet they are, makes you feel either energized or drained? That's the power of energy at work. It's not just the spoken words or the actions, it's the underlying energy that permeates everything. This is especially true in relationships. Whether in friendships, family dynamics, or romantic partnerships, the energy you bring to the relationship will determine its nature and direction. If you constantly project love, understanding, and positive energy, you create an environment where those qualities can thrive. Conversely, if you bring negativity, resentment, or hostility into the relationship, you invite conflict, disconnection, and tension. Energy in relationships is like a dance. One person's energy can influence the others, and the exchange of energy can either enhance or diminish the connection. The contagious nature of energy also extends to the workplace and other social environments. In a team setting, for example, the energy of one person can lift the entire group, boosting morale, creativity, and productivity. And when one individual brings enthusiasm, optimism, and drive to a project, it has a ripple effect, motivating others to adopt a similar attitude. On the other hand, negativity or pessimism can drag down the entire team, creating an atmosphere of stagnation or even conflict. This is why it's so important to be aware of the energy you contribute to any environment. Your energy can influence the collective mood and the outcomes of any situation. The contagiousness of energy is also rooted in the concept of vibration. Everything in the universe vibrates at a certain frequency, including human beings. When you are in a positive emotional state, your vibration is high, and you naturally attract others who resonate with that frequency. When you are feeling negative or low, your vibration drops, and you may find that you attract more of the same energy, more negativity, or situations that reinforce those low vibrations. Energy is a frequency, and like attracts like. The energy you emit acts as a magnet, drawing in experiences and people that match your frequency. This is why it is so important to take responsibility for the energy you bring into any situation. It's easy to become a passive recipient of the energy around you, especially when you are exposed to negativity or stress. However, you always have the choice to take control of your energy. You can decide to raise your vibration by focusing on positive thoughts, cultivating feelings of gratitude and love, and engaging in activities that make you feel good. When you consciously choose to raise your energy, you not only improve your own experience, but also influence the energy of those around you in a positive way. One of the most powerful ways to raise your energy is through self-awareness. Pay attention to how you feel in different situations and around different people. Notice when your energy shifts and what triggers those shifts. Are you spending time with people who uplift you, or are you surrounded by individuals who drain your energy? Are you focusing on thoughts and beliefs that support your well-being, or are you letting negativity take hold? By becoming more aware of the energy you are giving and receiving, you can consciously shift your focus and cultivate a higher frequency. It's also essential to protect your energy. Not every situation or person is conducive to your well-being, and sometimes it's necessary to set boundaries in order to preserve your energy. If you find yourself in an environment where negativity is rampant, it's important to either remove yourself or practice energy protection techniques. This could include taking a few moments to center yourself, using visualization to shield yourself from negative energy, or simply leaving a situation that feels draining. Protecting your energy allows you to maintain your own vibration and not be pulled down by the energy of others. The contagious nature of energy is a reminder that we are all interconnected. The energy we give to the world has a ripple effect, touching people and situations in ways we may not even realize. By cultivating positive energy within ourselves and being mindful of how we interact with the world, we can create a more harmonious and uplifting environment for ourselves and others. The energy you radiate matters, and by consciously choosing to spread love, positivity, and kindness, you have the power to transform not only your own life, but the lives of those around you. Master your energy, master your reality. This statement holds a profound truth that governs every aspect of our lives. Energy is the essence of all things. It is the force that drives creation, movement, and transformation. Whether we realize it or not, we are constantly interacting with energy both within ourselves and the world around us. Every thought, emotion, and belief we hold is a form of energy that shapes our reality. By learning to master our energy, we can learn to master the life we experience. At its core, energy is the invisible force that influences everything in the universe. From the smallest particles of matter to the grandest cosmic movements, everything is powered by energy. This includes our thoughts and emotions. Our minds are not separate from the energy around us, they are deeply interconnected. The energy you carry within you has the ability to attract, repel, and shape the circumstances of your life. If you are unaware of this, you may unknowingly be allowing external forces to dictate your reality. But once you understand that you control your energy, you realize that you also control the direction of your life. Energy is not static. It is constantly shifting and changing. This is why your internal state, the way you think and feel, is so powerful. It is like a magnet that draws experiences to you. When you feel positive emotions like love, joy, and gratitude, you align yourself with higher frequencies of energy, which in turn attract experiences that resonate with those emotions. On the other hand, when you allow negative emotions like fear, anger, or frustration to dominate your inner world, you lower your frequency and attract experiences that reflect those lower energies. The reality you experience is a direct reflection of the energy you hold within. To master your energy is to take control of the thoughts, emotions, and beliefs that shape your internal landscape. The first step is awareness. Without awareness, you cannot change anything. You must begin by observing your thoughts and emotions, recognizing when you are operating from a place of fear, scarcity, or negativity. Pay attention to the moments when you feel drained, disconnected, or out of alignment with your true self. These are the moments when your energy is not being directed intentionally, and they are the moments that require your attention. Once you become aware of the energy you are carrying, the next step is to consciously choose the energy you wish to embody. Just as you can choose what to think, you can also choose how to feel. Instead of allowing external circumstances to dictate your emotional state, you have the power to shift your focus and change your energy. This is the foundation of mastering your reality. So, when you choose to feel empowered, abundant, and at peace, you align yourself with the energies of creation and manifestation. You begin to broadcast a frequency that draws to you the experiences, people, and opportunities that match that energy. Mastering your energy also involves taking responsibility for the energy you give to the world. You are constantly emitting energy through your words, actions, and intentions. If you are continually sending out negativity, doubt, or resentment, you are creating a reality where those energies are reflected back to you. However, if you choose to radiate positivity, kindness, and gratitude, you are contributing to the creation of a world filled with those same qualities. The energy you put into the world is never lost. It always returns to you in one form or another. This is the power of the law of attraction, like attracts like. The more you cultivate positive energy within, the more you will attract positive circumstances and people into your life. To truly master your energy, you must also learn to protect it. Life will always present challenges, and there will be people and situations that attempt to drain your energy. It is crucial to recognize when you are being influenced by external negativity and to take steps to safeguard your energy. This can be done through setting healthy boundaries, practicing mindfulness, and engaging in activities that replenish your energy, such as meditation, exercise, or spending time in nature. The more you protect your energy, the more you will be able to maintain a high vibration, even in the face of adversity. Another aspect of mastering your energy is learning to align with your higher self. When you are in alignment with your true essence, your soul's purpose, your inner wisdom, your deepest desires, you are operating at your highest frequency. This alignment allows you to move through life with grace, clarity, and confidence. When you are out of alignment, you feel lost, disconnected, or uncertain. To return to alignment, you must trust in your inner guidance and let go of the fears and doubts that hold you back. Your higher self knows what is best for you, and when you align with it, you step into your power. As you master your energy, you also learn to master your reality. The more you take charge of your internal state, the more control you have over the external circumstances of your life. You begin to realize that you are not a passive observer of life, you are an active creator. Your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs have the power to shape your reality in ways you may have never imagined. By consciously directing your energy, you can manifest your desires, attract the people and opportunities you need, and create a life that aligns with your deepest aspirations. Mastering your energy is not about controlling every moment or forcing things to happen. It is about cultivating a state of awareness, intention, and alignment with your true self. When you master your energy, you are no longer a victim of circumstances, you are the creator of your experience. Your energy is the key to unlocking the life you desire, and when you learn to master it, you master your reality. In conclusion, mastering your energy is the key to transforming your reality. Everything in your life, your circumstances, relationships, and opportunities are shaped by the energy you emit. By becoming aware of your internal state and consciously choosing the energy you project, you begin to align with your highest potential. Remember, You are not a passive observer of your life, you are the creator. Your energy is powerful, and when you harness it with intention, you unlock the ability to manifest your desires and create a life filled with positivity, abundance, and fulfillment. Thank you for your time and attention. May you step into the power of your energy and use it to shape the reality you desire. There comes a time in life when you must face the inevitable. Something ends. It could be a relationship, a chapter of your life, or a dream that no longer serves you. Let it end. Do not resist, for in the end, there is only space for something new. An end is not the finality we often perceive it to be, but the beginning of something better, something that is in alignment with your true self. There are moments in life when something must come to an end. It might be the end of a relationship, the closure of a chapter in your career, or the conclusion of a long-held dream that no longer aligns with who you are becoming. In these moments, the tendency is to fight against the inevitable, to cling to what we know, what we are comfortable with, and what feels safe. But there is a profound truth: every end is simply the beginning of something new. The key to transformation lies in how we respond to the end. When something ends, whether it's a significant part of your life or a fleeting moment, it's easy to fall into despair, loss, or regret. We fear the unknown that comes after, the empty space that seems to stretch before us. But if we take a step back and observe, we realize that it's precisely in this emptiness where new things can take shape. You see, endings don't signify an absence, they create an opportunity. In every ending lies the potential for rebirth and renewal. The past must make way for the future, and the only way to make room for what is meant to come is to embrace what has been. The first step in embracing the end is recognizing that endings are a natural part of the flow of life. Change is constant, and nothing stays the same forever. Every aspect of life, from seasons to relationships to our personal growth, operates on cycles. We live in a world where nothing is static. To cling to what is familiar is to deny the rhythm of life itself. We cannot grow if we refuse to let go of what no longer serves us. Each end, no matter how painful or difficult, is simply an invitation to evolve. When we resist the end, we resist change. We hold on to what's familiar, because it gives us a sense of control and security, but in doing so, we also limit ourselves. Holding on can cause us to miss out on the next step, the new chapter waiting for us. Just as the trees shed their leaves in the fall to prepare for new growth in the spring, we too must shed the things that no longer nurture us in order to allow new possibilities to take root. Embracing the end doesn't mean that you must forget what has happened or pretend that it didn't matter. No, the key is to honor the past for what it was and to accept that it has fulfilled its purpose. Often we are taught to hold on, to preserve the past, and to keep what we have at all costs. But growth requires space. It requires an openness to what lies ahead, even if it's unclear or unknown. By embracing the end, we allow ourselves the freedom to move forward without the weight of the past weighing us down. In many ways, endings are a form of surrender. Surrendering does not mean giving up or giving in, it means letting go of the attachment to the outcome. It's recognizing that what we have experienced has been enough, and now it's time to release it and trust that something greater is on the horizon. It's difficult to let go of something we've invested so much time, energy, and emotion into. However, it's important to understand that holding on often only prolongs the suffering. The act of surrender is not a sign of weakness, but of strength. It takes courage to release, to acknowledge that what we've had is no longer in alignment with who we are becoming. It is also crucial to understand that every end brings with it a lesson. The experiences we undergo, whether joyous or painful, are always contributing to our growth and evolution. Even in the most challenging of endings, there are invaluable lessons to be learned. We can either focus on the pain of the loss, or we can choose to look at what we have gained. Every relationship, every job, every dream has shaped us in some way, leaving us more refined, more aware, and more equipped for what is to come. In the face of an ending, it is natural to feel sadness, anger, or fear. These are all valid emotions. However, we must not let them keep us trapped in the past. By embracing the end, we are not denying our emotions, but rather giving ourselves permission to feel and move through them. It's okay to mourn what has been lost, but we must not let grief prevent us from seeing what is ahead. The beauty of life lies in its impermanence. Each experience, each phase, has a beginning and an end. The key is not to avoid or resist the end, but to acknowledge it, honor it, and allow it to be a part of the beautiful tapestry of your life. We can find peace in knowing that the universe, or whatever higher force we believe in, has a plan for us. What ends is simply part of the grand design. By embracing the end, we are making space for the next phase of our journey. Trust that the universe always moves us toward what is best for us, even if it doesn't always appear that way in the moment. There is a deeper understanding, a deeper knowing, that we are always being guided toward the fulfillment of our greatest potential. So, let the end come. Do not resist it. Do not fear it. Accept it, and in doing so, open yourself up to the new possibilities that await. Know that by embracing the end, you are embracing the process of life itself. You are acknowledging the fluidity of existence and the power you have to create the life that is meant for you. When something ends, remember it is not the end of everything, it is the beginning of a new chapter, a new opportunity for growth, and a new path leading you toward the life you were always meant to live. To truly experience the depth of our emotions, we must first allow ourselves to feel. Yet so often when faced with pain or hurt, we instinctively try to avoid it. We fear it, deny it, or suppress it in an effort to protect ourselves from the discomfort it brings. However, there is a profound truth that can bring about a transformation in how we view and process our emotions. Feeling the hurt without resistance is the key to healing. When something painful happens, whether it's the end of a relationship, a loss, or a failure, it's easy to want to push those feelings aside. Society tells us to move on or get over it quickly, and we are conditioned to believe that we must always be strong, always composed, and always in control. This mindset leads to a disconnect between our emotional world and our true selves. The result? We hide our hurt, ignoring its presence as though it's something shameful or weak. But the truth is, our hurt is not something to run from, it is something to experience. Pain is a natural and inevitable part of the human experience. Just as joy and love are a part of us, so too is pain. It is a vital and necessary emotion, for it alerts us to areas of our lives that need attention, change, or healing. Pain isn't a punishment, it is a messenger. It tells us when we are out of alignment with our true selves, when we are grieving something lost, or when we are experiencing deep disappointment. To resist the pain is to resist the very message it brings. When we resist our hurt, we suppress it, often burying it so deep within that it manifests in other ways: stress, anxiety, or even physical ailments. Our minds and bodies have a unique way of storing emotions that are unprocessed, and these unaddressed feelings can weigh heavily on us. By denying the hurt, we create an internal battle that only prolongs the suffering. It is not the hurt itself that causes lasting pain, but our resistance to it. It's only when we face the hurt head-on, without fear or resistance, that we can truly begin to heal. Feeling the hurt without resistance means allowing ourselves to fully experience the emotions as they come. This is not a passive act, but an active choice to embrace the pain with the awareness that it is not permanent. We can sit with it, breathe through it, and allow it to move through us. This approach requires courage, as it involves confronting the vulnerability and rawness of our emotions. However, when we allow ourselves to feel, we free ourselves from the chains of suppression and denial. When we stop fighting against the hurt, we can begin to understand its deeper meaning. Emotions are not random or meaningless. Every emotion we feel is a reflection of our inner world. Pain often comes when we have unmet needs, unhealed wounds, or unresolved trauma. By allowing ourselves to feel this hurt, we open the door to understanding what lies beneath it. What is this pain telling us about our desires, our boundaries, and our own growth? When we stop resisting and allow ourselves to feel the pain, we create the space to truly hear what our emotions have to teach us. In feeling the hurt, we allow ourselves to process it fully. Our emotions need to be expressed in order to be released. Bottling up feelings only delays healing and leaves us stuck in a cycle of emotional buildup. But when we honor our emotions, whether through tears, quiet reflection, or expressing our feelings to others, we begin the process of releasing what no longer serves us. The hurt can be processed and, in time, transformed into wisdom and strength. To feel the hurt without resistance is also to trust in the natural ebb and flow of our emotional lives. We must understand that no emotion, no matter how intense, will last forever. Pain is not a permanent state, it is a phase, a season. Just as the weather changes, so too will our emotional state. The key is to stay present with it and trust that it will pass when it has taught us what we need to learn. The pain will ebb, and in its wake, we will find ourselves stronger and more resilient. One of the most liberating aspects of feeling the hurt without resistance is that it allows us to be compassionate with ourselves. Often when we feel pain, we criticize ourselves for not being strong enough or over it already. We tell ourselves that we should be past this by now. But these self-judgments only add to the suffering. When we allow ourselves to simply feel, we embrace our humanity. We give ourselves the permission to be imperfect, to be vulnerable, and to experience life fully. By feeling the hurt, we also give ourselves the opportunity to heal in a deeper way. Healing is not a linear process. It doesn't happen overnight, and it certainly doesn't happen by forcing it. Healing requires patience, gentleness, and acceptance. It's about acknowledging that pain is a part of life's journey, and it is something that will eventually pass. But in order for healing to occur, we must first be willing to face the hurt, to experience it fully, and to release it without trying to control it. As we begin to feel the hurt without resistance, we tap into a greater sense of peace. This peace comes from the understanding that our emotions are valid and that we are allowed to feel whatever we are feeling. It is the peace that comes from knowing that pain is not something to be ashamed of, but something to be understood, processed, and released. By embracing the hurt, we learn to embrace ourselves. We learn that we are capable of moving through difficult emotions and emerging on the other side stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. So, the next time you feel pain, do not run from it. Do not push it away or try to avoid it. Instead, choose to feel it fully. Sit with it, breathe through it, and trust that in doing so, you are healing. Allow the hurt to be a part of your journey, and let it guide you to a place of greater self-awareness and strength. For it is through the act of feeling, without resistance, that you will find the peace and healing you seek. Acceptance is one of the most powerful tools we have in life. It is a transformative force that, when fully embraced, can unlock our potential, bring peace, and create the freedom we seek. So often we are conditioned to resist the things we cannot control, to fight against what feels uncomfortable or out of our control. However, in doing so, we only prolong our suffering. True peace comes not from fighting against life's challenges, but from accepting them as part of the journey. Acceptance is not about resignation or giving up. It's not about tolerating negative situations or passively allowing things to happen to us. Rather, it's about acknowledging the reality of a situation, embracing it for what it is, and finding a way to move forward in a positive, empowered way. It is about recognizing that there are things in life we cannot change, and instead of fighting against them, we choose to accept them as they are, without resistance or judgment. When we resist something, we give it power over us. Resistance creates a sense of struggle, frustration, and helplessness. We exhaust ourselves fighting against what we cannot change. However, when we shift our mindset from resistance to acceptance, we immediately release that power. We regain control over our emotional state, and we begin to move forward. It is in this space of acceptance that true growth occurs. When we stop fighting, we make room for new possibilities to enter our lives. Accepting what is doesn't mean we condone everything or stop striving for improvement. It's about recognizing that certain circumstances, whether it be pain, disappointment, or obstacles, are part of life's natural rhythm. Every challenge, every hardship, has the potential to teach us something valuable. By accepting the situation as it is, we open ourselves to the lessons it holds. We may not always understand why something is happening, but we can trust that it is unfolding in a way that serves our higher purpose. The power of acceptance also lies in the ability to stop resisting our own feelings. So often, when we experience negative emotions like sadness, anger, or frustration, we feel guilty or ashamed for feeling them. We might judge ourselves for being weak or emotional, thinking that we should be able to handle things better. However, when we resist our feelings, we create an inner conflict. The more we try to push our emotions away, the more they persist, often growing in intensity. But when we accept our emotions without judgment or resistance, we allow them to move through us naturally. We acknowledge them, process them, and then release them. Acceptance creates the space for healing. In relationships, acceptance is also a crucial element. We often have expectations of others, hoping they will behave or respond in a certain way. However, when we accept people for who they truly are, rather than who we want them to be, we experience a profound shift. We release the need to control or change them, and instead we focus on appreciating them for their uniqueness. This doesn't mean we accept harmful behaviors or tolerate mistreatment, but it does mean we acknowledge others' flaws, imperfections, and differences without judgment. By accepting people as they are, we create a foundation of trust and respect that fosters genuine connection. Acceptance also plays a significant role in our ability to heal and grow. Many of us carry around past hurts, regrets, and wounds that we have not fully processed. We often replay painful memories or ruminate over things we wish had turned out differently. But the more we resist the pain, the more it persists. True healing begins when we accept the past without judgment or blame. This doesn't mean we condone what happened or forget it, but we stop allowing it to have power over us. We accept that the past is done, and by doing so, we release ourselves from the chains that bind us to it. Acceptance is a key component in our ability to create the future we desire. When we accept the present moment for what it is, we free ourselves from the grip of anxiety and fear about the future. So much of our stress comes from worrying about what might happen or how things might turn out. But when we accept that we cannot predict the future, we free ourselves from the burden of trying to control it. We focus on the present moment, take inspired action, and trust that everything will unfold as it should. Acceptance allows us to let go of the need to have everything figured out and gives us the confidence to move forward with faith and trust. The process of acceptance also invites gratitude into our lives. When we accept things as they are, we begin to see the blessings in the midst of challenges. Acceptance allows us to recognize that every experience, even the difficult ones, is contributing to our growth. We learn to appreciate the lessons that life offers us and find meaning in what we go through. It's easy to be grateful when things are going well, but it's in the moments of difficulty that we have the opportunity to deepen our gratitude. Acceptance teaches us that even in our struggles, there is something to be thankful for. Acceptance is not just about making peace with the things we cannot change. It is about empowering ourselves to create the life we desire. It is about surrendering to the flow of life and trusting that everything is unfolding as it should. By accepting what is, we release resistance and open ourselves to new opportunities, new insights, and new possibilities. We stop fighting against the current and begin to flow with it, knowing that life will always bring us what we need when we are ready to receive it. In embracing acceptance, we create space for peace, joy, and fulfillment. We stop being weighed down by the burdens of resistance and instead step into a place of flow and ease. Acceptance doesn't mean we give up on our dreams or stop striving for better. It simply means that we accept where we are right now, without judgment, and trust that everything is happening for our highest good. This is the power of acceptance to bring us peace, to heal our wounds, and to guide us toward a brighter, more fulfilled future. Healing is not something that is granted to us from the outside. It is something that begins deep within. It is a process that starts with an inward journey, a return to self. For many of us, the idea of healing conjures up images of external solutions, medications, therapies, or the presence of others. While these can support us, true healing happens when we turn inward, acknowledging the wounds within, understanding their source, and working through them. Healing is not a destination but a continuous process that arises from within our own hearts, minds, and souls. The first step in this inward journey is self-awareness. Without truly understanding where our pain originates, we cannot begin to heal. Often we are unaware of the emotional scars we carry, buried deep within our subconscious. These scars may stem from childhood trauma, past relationships, unmet needs, or difficult life experiences. They may not always be immediately apparent, but they shape our perceptions, behaviors, and reactions. Healing starts when we become aware of these unresolved emotions. It is not enough to simply acknowledge them in passing. We must take the time to sit with them, reflect upon them, and give them space to surface. Once we acknowledge the pain, we must accept it. Acceptance is crucial in the healing process because it allows us to move forward. Many people resist their pain, either by denying it or by pushing it away, thinking that ignoring it will somehow make it go away. But resistance only prolongs suffering. Pain cannot heal unless it is allowed to be felt fully. The more we resist, the more we empower the pain to control us. Accepting the pain, on the other hand, means facing it with courage and compassion. We must be gentle with ourselves, allowing the hurt to come and go, without judgment or condemnation. By accepting our emotions as they are, we begin to release their hold on us. Also requires forgiveness. Often the deepest wounds we carry are the result of hurt caused by others' betrayals, disappointments, or even neglect. These emotional wounds can fester and grow, preventing us from moving forward. Holding on to resentment or anger keeps us tied to the past and prevents us from healing. Forgiveness is not about condoning the hurt or excusing the actions of others. It is about freeing ourselves from the grip of those past emotions. When we forgive, we are not releasing others from their actions, but releasing ourselves from the burden of carrying that pain. Forgiveness sets us free. It allows us to move on, to heal, and to create the space for peace within. But forgiveness must first begin with ourselves. We cannot fully forgive others until we have forgiven ourselves. Many of us are burdened by guilt, shame, or regret from our past actions, and these emotions can weigh heavily on our ability to heal. Self-forgiveness is the first and most important step. We are all imperfect, and we all make mistakes. The key is to understand that our mistakes do not define us. We must be willing to show ourselves the same compassion we would show a loved one. It is in this self-compassion that healing truly begins. Only when we forgive ourselves can we release the shame, guilt, and self-blame that prevent us from fully embracing who we are. Healing also involves the practice of self-care. While the inner work of healing is essential, it is equally important to nurture our physical, mental, and emotional well-being. We cannot neglect our bodies, minds, or spirits and expect to heal. Self-care is an act of honoring ourselves. It involves taking the time to nourish our bodies with healthy food, rest, and exercise. It means surrounding ourselves with positive, supportive people who lift us up rather than drag us down. Self-care also includes protecting our mental and emotional boundaries, learning to say no when necessary, and ensuring that we are not giving more than we can handle. It is about taking ownership of our well-being and prioritizing our health physically, emotionally, and spiritually. A crucial aspect of healing within is the cultivation of a positive mindset. Our thoughts have a profound impact on our emotional and physical well-being. Negative thinking, self-criticism, and fear-based thoughts can create blockages within us that prevent healing. On the other hand, positive thoughts can have a healing effect, releasing tension, reducing stress, and even boosting the immune system. Healing begins when we recognize the power of our thoughts and take control of them. We must learn to challenge negative thought patterns and replace them with affirmations of love, kindness, and compassion toward ourselves. The more we nurture a positive inner dialogue, the more we create a healing environment within our own minds. Another essential aspect of healing is letting go. Often we cling to old patterns, beliefs, or relationships because they are familiar, even if they are no longer serving us. These attachments hold us back from healing. Letting go can be one of the most difficult parts of the healing process, but it is also one of the most liberating. Whether it's letting go of toxic relationships, outdated beliefs, or past mistakes, Releasing what no longer serves us makes room for new growth and transformation. We must be willing to release the weight of the past in order to embrace the present moment fully. Healing begins within, because it is only when we look inward that we can truly understand the source of our pain. We cannot control everything that happens to us, but we can control how we respond. By taking ownership of our emotions, accepting them, forgiving ourselves and others, and practicing self-care, we create the conditions necessary for healing. This process requires patience, self-compassion, and time, but the rewards are immeasurable. When we heal from within, we transform not only ourselves but also the world around us. We become more resilient, more compassionate, and more at peace with who we are. Healing begins within, and when we embrace this truth, we can unlock the power to create the life we truly desire. Trusting in divine timing is a powerful practice that asks us to surrender our need for control and to trust that everything in our lives is unfolding exactly as it is meant to. It is the understanding that life operates on its own schedule, and while we may not always see the bigger picture, there is a higher intelligence guiding us through every experience. The key is to learn to embrace patience, faith, and surrender as we navigate the journey, knowing that what is meant for us will come at the right time, in the right way. Divine timing is not something we can force. It operates outside the boundaries of our limited understanding of time. We often become frustrated and anxious when things don't happen on our desired timeline. We may think that we are falling behind, that we've missed an opportunity, or that life is not moving fast enough. However, divine timing is a reminder that everything happens in its perfect time. When we try to rush things, we interfere with the natural flow of life. The more we resist the timing of events, the more we create tension and stress within ourselves. But when we trust in divine timing, we release the need to control and allow life to unfold naturally. One of the first steps in trusting divine timing is letting go of our attachment to specific outcomes. So often we become fixated on a particular vision of how we want things to unfold, and when things don't go as planned, we feel disappointed or disillusioned. We have expectations of when certain milestones should happen, and if they don't align with our timeline, we feel lost. But divine timing teaches us that there is wisdom in the unknown. We are often given what we need, not what we think we want. There are moments when the universe withholds something from us because we are not yet ready to receive it. We might be waiting for a job opportunity, a relationship, or a dream to manifest. But sometimes we need more time to grow, to learn, or to heal before we are prepared for what is coming. Trusting divine timing means having faith that we will be given what is meant for us at the perfect moment, and that everything is aligning for our highest good. This trust requires a deep sense of patience. In a world where instant gratification is the norm, patience can feel like a lost art. We are taught to move quickly, to achieve immediately, and to make things happen on our own. However, patience is an essential component of divine timing. It reminds us that life is not a race. It's about enjoying the journey and trusting that we are being guided every step of the way. Patience is not passive, it is an active trust in the process. It's about understanding that while we may not always see immediate results, the seeds we plant today will one day grow into something beautiful. And sometimes the greatest lessons come in the waiting. It is during these periods of waiting that we cultivate resilience, strength, and understanding. Trusting in divine timing also requires the ability to surrender. Surrender is often misunderstood as giving up or resigning ourselves to passivity, but it is actually an act of courage. Surrender means acknowledging that we cannot control everything and that there is a greater force at work. It is about releasing our need for certainty and accepting that life unfolds in its own time. When we surrender, we allow ourselves to be open to the unexpected, to new opportunities, and to the lessons that come our way. Surrender does not mean inaction, rather. It means letting go of the need to force things and trusting that when the time is right, everything will align. Part of surrendering to divine timing is embracing the idea that delays or detours are not signs of failure but of protection. Sometimes things don't happen when we want them to, because we are being steered away from something that is not right for us. We may not understand why a door has closed, but trust in divine timing means knowing that there is something better waiting for us. The delay is not a denial, it's simply the universe creating space for something more aligned with our true purpose to manifest. We have all experienced moments when something didn't go according to plan, only to later realize that it was for our own good. It was a blessing in disguise, a lesson we needed to learn, or a redirection toward a more fulfilling path. Trusting divine timing also requires us to cultivate faith. Faith is the belief that everything is happening for a reason, even when we cannot see it. It is the understanding that there is a greater plan in motion, even if it doesn't make sense in the moment. Faith in divine timing means that we trust that the universe, or whatever higher power we believe in, is guiding us toward what we need. Faith allows us to be at peace with the unknown. We don't need to have all the answers, we simply need to trust that the answers will come when we are ready to receive them. Faith reminds us that we are not alone on this journey, and that the universe is conspiring in our favor, even when things seem uncertain. As we learn to trust in divine timing, we also begin to recognize the signs and synchronicities that guide us. The universe has a way of sending us messages when we are on the right path. These can come in the form of intuitive nudges, coincidences, or unexpected opportunities. Trusting divine timing means learning to listen to these signals and being open to the ways the universe communicates with us. It's about understanding that everything is connected, and when we are aligned with the flow of life, we are more likely to encounter moments of serendipity and guidance. Releasing what no longer serves you is an act of profound transformation. It is the conscious choice to let go of the old, the outdated, and the burdens that keep you from becoming the person you are meant to be. We all carry with us elements of our past old habits, limiting beliefs, toxic relationships, and unhealed wounds that shape our present. These things can hold us back from experiencing true peace, joy, and fulfillment. But in order to move forward, we must learn to release them. Releasing is not about forgetting or erasing the past, it's about freeing ourselves from the weight that it carries. It's about clearing space for new growth, new opportunities, and new experiences. One of the first steps in releasing what no longer serves you is recognizing what it is. We often get so used to the things in our lives that we forget to evaluate whether they are truly serving us, or if they have simply become a part of the familiar routine. These may be thoughts, behaviors, or even physical possessions that we hold on to out of habit or comfort, but they no longer add value to our lives. It's important to take an honest look at what is draining our energy, what is holding us back, and what is keeping us stuck in the past. This might include relationships that no longer align with our values, self-doubts that limit our potential, or attachments to material things that give us temporary satisfaction, but not lasting fulfillment. Once we've identified what is no longer serving us, the next step is to acknowledge the pain or fear associated with letting go. Change is not easy. We may fear the unknown, worry about what we will lose, or feel like we are giving up something that once brought us comfort. The attachments we have to certain people, situations, or beliefs are often rooted in fear of not being good enough, fear of failure, or fear of being alone. But holding on to these fears only prevents us from moving forward. To release what no longer serves us, we must be willing to confront our fears, sit with them, and move through them. It's not about eliminating fear entirely, but about choosing not to let fear dictate our actions. It's about recognizing that our growth lies on the other side of discomfort. Releasing requires us to practice forgiveness both of others and ourselves. Often the things we need to release are tied to past hurts and unresolved emotional baggage. We may carry anger or resentment toward others for how they have treated us, or we may harbor guilt or shame for our own past actions. These negative emotions keep us tethered to the past and prevent us from moving forward. To truly release, we must let go of these emotional burdens. Forgiveness is not about excusing the wrongs done to us or absolving ourselves of responsibility. It is about freeing ourselves from the grip of these emotions. Forgiveness is an act of self-liberation. When we forgive, we release the hold that the past has on us, and we make space for healing and peace to enter our lives. Letting go also involves detaching from the need for external validation. So much of what we hold on to is tied to our desire for approval from others. We may stay in relationships or situations because we fear rejection, or we may strive for perfection in our work or appearance in order to gain praise. But when we are constantly seeking validation from the outside, we lose sight of our own worth. Releasing what no longer serves us means returning to our true selves, independent of external opinions. It means trusting that we are enough, just as we are, and that our value does not depend on others' perceptions. By releasing the need for approval, we open the door to authentic self-expression and self-love. Sometimes, letting go involves releasing our attachment to specific outcomes. We may set goals or have dreams, and we become attached to how we think they should unfold. However, life has a way of surprising us, often in ways we don't expect. When we cling too tightly to how we want things to happen, we close ourselves off from the possibilities that life has to offer. Releasing attachment means trusting that whatever comes will be for our highest good, even if it doesn't look exactly like we envisioned it. It's about letting go of the need to control the future and allowing life to unfold naturally. By releasing attachment, we allow ourselves to experience more joy, flexibility, and peace. Releasing is also a physical act. We can begin by clearing out our physical spaces, our homes, our workplaces, and even our digital spaces. Our environment is a reflection of our inner state, and when we are surrounded by clutter and disorganization, it can contribute to mental and emotional chaos. Letting go of physical possessions that no longer serve us creates space for new energy to flow. It's a symbolic act that mirrors the release we are making on an emotional and spiritual level. As we let go of material things, we also let go of the attachments and beliefs that keep us tethered to the past. The act of releasing is liberating, and it invites new opportunities and experiences into our lives. The final step in releasing is trusting the process. Letting go can feel uncomfortable at times, especially when we are unsure of what will come next. However, trusting in the process of release is essential. When we let go of what no longer serves us, we create space for the new, the unknown, and the better. The universe has a way of filling the void we create with what is meant for us. Trusting the process means believing that once we release, we are making room for greater things, things that align with our true desires and purpose. Releasing what no longer serves us is an act of courage, clarity, and self-love. It is about identifying what holds us back, confronting the fear and pain tied to these attachments, and making the conscious decision to let go. By practicing forgiveness, detachment, and trust, we free ourselves from the limitations of the past and open ourselves to new possibilities. The process of release is ongoing and transformative, leading us to deeper peace, greater authenticity, and a life aligned with our true purpose. Letting go is not about losing, it is about making space for growth, healing, and the fulfillment of our deepest desires. Forgiveness is one of the most powerful tools for emotional and spiritual growth. It is not just about letting go of anger, resentment, or hurt. It is about freeing ourselves from the emotional burdens that keep us stuck in the past. When we forgive, we release the grip that negative emotions have over us and open ourselves up to peace, healing, and transformation. Forgiveness is a gift we give ourselves, one that allows us to move forward with our lives, unburdened by the weight of past pain. The power of forgiveness lies in its ability to shift our perspective. When we hold on to grudges, we are essentially keeping ourselves trapped in the past. We replay the hurtful events over and over in our minds, allowing them to shape our present and even our future. These negative emotions can cloud our judgment, distort our relationships, and prevent us from experiencing joy and fulfillment. Forgiveness, however, allows us to release the past and step into the present moment. It is the conscious decision to stop allowing someone else's actions to dictate our emotional state. By forgiving, we are choosing to take back our power and reclaim control over our emotional well-being. Does not mean excusing or condoning the behavior of those who have hurt us. It is not about saying that what happened was acceptable or that we should forget the wrong that was done to us. Instead, it is about acknowledging the pain, the injustice, or the betrayal, and choosing to let go of the negative emotions associated with it. It is a decision to stop carrying the weight of anger, resentment, and hurt, which ultimately only harms us, not the person who wronged us. By forgiving, we are choosing to free ourselves from the emotional imprisonment of the past, and in doing so, we create space for healing to occur. At its core, forgiveness is about releasing the need for revenge or retribution. When we are hurt, it is natural to feel the desire for justice, for the wrongdoer to face the consequences of their actions. However, holding on to the desire for vengeance only keeps us entangled in the cycle of anger and pain. Revenge may offer temporary satisfaction, but it does nothing to heal the emotional wounds we carry. In fact, it only deepens the pain and keeps us stuck in the past. Forgiveness, on the other hand, allows us to break free from this cycle. It is an act of emotional liberation that frees us from the need to seek punishment or retribution. It is a decision to let go of the past and trust that justice will come in its own time, in its own way. One of the most powerful aspects of forgiveness is its ability to heal our own hearts. When we forgive, we are not just releasing the other person, we are also healing ourselves. Unforgiveness is like poison in the soul. It festers and grows, eating away at our happiness and peace of mind. It can manifest in physical ailments, strained relationships, and a general sense of discontent. When we choose to forgive, we free ourselves from this poison. We stop letting the actions of others dictate how we feel, and we regain our emotional balance. Forgiveness is a gift we give to ourselves, because it allows us to move forward with peace in our hearts, unburdened by the past. Also has the power to transform our relationships. When we hold on to resentment, we build walls between ourselves and others. These walls create distance and prevent intimacy, connection, and trust. By forgiving, we tear down these walls and allow for healing to take place. Forgiveness does not always mean reconciling or returning to a relationship as it was before. It simply means releasing the emotional charge attached to the event. It means no longer allowing the past to define our interactions with others. By forgiving, we create space for growth, understanding, and deeper connection. Even if the relationship cannot be restored, forgiveness allows us to move on with peace in our hearts, no longer carrying the weight of bitterness or resentment. Forgiveness is also a way to release ourselves from the grip of victimhood. When we hold on to anger and resentment, we are essentially giving away our power. We are allowing the actions of others to define us and control how we feel. We become victims of our circumstances, constantly reliving the pain and hurt of the past. Forgiveness, however, is an act of empowerment. It is a conscious choice to stop being a victim of our past and to take back our power. It is a decision to stop allowing the actions of others to control how we feel, and to instead take responsibility for our emotional state. Forgiveness frees us from the role of the victim and allows us to reclaim our personal power. It is not always easy. It requires vulnerability, humility, and strength. It is often much easier to hold on to anger and resentment than to let them go. We may feel justified in our hurt, and we may believe that by forgiving, we are somehow letting the other person off the hook. But the truth is, holding on to anger only hurts us in the end. Forgiveness is not about condoning the behavior of others. It is about freeing ourselves from the emotional weight of the past. It is about choosing to move forward with peace in our hearts, regardless of what has happened. The process of forgiveness is different for everyone. It may take time, reflection, and even the help of a therapist or spiritual guide. It is important to give ourselves permission to forgive at our own pace. Some wounds may take longer to heal than others, and that is okay. Forgiveness is a journey, not a destination. It is a continuous process of letting go, releasing the past, and choosing peace in the present moment. With time, the burden of unforgiveness lightens, and we are left with a sense of freedom and emotional clarity. The power of forgiveness is profound. It is a transformative act that allows us to release the pain of the past and create space for healing, peace, and growth. Forgiveness is not about excusing the actions of others, but about freeing ourselves from the grip of negative emotions. It is a gift we give to ourselves, one that allows us to move forward with emotional freedom and strength. By forgiving, we reclaim our power, heal our hearts, and transform our relationships. Forgiveness is not a sign of weakness, but a testament to our strength and resilience. It is a powerful tool for emotional liberation, one that can bring lasting peace and transformation to our lives. Moving forward with grace is about embracing change, navigating life's challenges, and stepping into the future with a sense of dignity, compassion, and poise. Life will inevitably present us with moments of difficulty, uncertainty, and even heartbreak, but how we respond to these moments can shape our journey and define our character. Moving forward with grace is not about avoiding pain or pretending that challenges don't exist. It is about facing them with a mindset that allows us to learn, grow, and evolve, while maintaining inner peace and respect for ourselves and others. One of the first steps in moving forward with grace is accepting that life is not always going to go according to plan. Expectations can be powerful, and it's natural to hope for certain outcomes, whether in relationships, career, or personal goals. However, life has a way of surprising us, often throwing us off course in ways that we could never anticipate. The key to moving forward with grace is accepting that setbacks, disappointments, and detours are part of the journey. Acceptance does not mean resignation, rather. It means acknowledging the reality of the situation without resistance. When we fight against what is happening, we only prolong our suffering. Acceptance allows us to flow with life, rather than against it, and it enables us to respond with a calm, centered mind, rather than reacting out of frustration or fear. Moving forward with grace also requires a deep sense of self-compassion. During times of hardship, it's easy to be hard on ourselves, to fall into self-criticism or self-blame. We might feel like we are failing or that we're not doing enough. However, treating ourselves with kindness and understanding is essential for healing and growth. We must remind ourselves that it's okay to stumble, to make mistakes, and to experience setbacks. We are human, and part of being human is learning how to rise after we fall. Self-compassion allows us to approach our struggles with a sense of gentleness, offering ourselves the same empathy and support that we would offer a loved one in a similar situation. By treating ourselves with grace, we create the space for healing to take place, allowing us to move forward with greater resilience and strength. Another crucial aspect of moving forward with grace is letting go of the past. Often we carry emotional baggage from previous experiences that weigh us down and prevent us from fully embracing the present. Whether it's past regrets, old wounds, or unresolved pain, these emotions can cloud our judgment and hinder our ability to move forward. Letting go does not mean forgetting. It means releasing the emotional charge tied to those experiences. It means making the conscious choice to no longer let the past dictate our present or our future. When we release the grip of the past, we open ourselves to new possibilities and new experiences. We free ourselves from the chains of resentment, regret, and guilt, allowing our hearts to heal and our minds to clear. This act of letting go is an act of grace in itself, as it requires trust that we are capable of moving forward without the weight of what has already happened. Moving forward with grace also means maintaining a positive mindset, even in the face of adversity. Our thoughts have incredible power over our emotions and experiences. If we focus on the obstacles in front of us, it can be easy to feel overwhelmed or discouraged. But when we shift our focus to what we can learn from each challenge, we begin to see the opportunities for growth that are present, even in the most difficult situations. Moving forward with grace requires a shift in perspective, a commitment to finding the silver lining and embracing the lessons that come with every trial. This doesn't mean pretending that everything is fine. When it isn't, it means acknowledging the difficulty while choosing to remain hopeful and open to the possibility of growth. A positive mindset does not guarantee that everything will go perfectly, but it does give us the strength and determination to keep going, even when things seem uncertain. A key component of grace is understanding that we are not in control of everything. There are many aspects of life that are beyond our influence, and trying to control the uncontrollable only leads to frustration and stress. Moving forward with grace involves surrendering to the flow of life and trusting that everything is unfolding as it should. It's about accepting that some things are outside of our control, but that doesn't diminish our power to choose how we respond. By releasing the need to control every outcome, We free ourselves from the anxiety that often accompanies uncertainty. Surrendering doesn't mean giving up, it means trusting that, in time, things will fall into place as they are meant to. To move forward with grace, we must also cultivate patience. The path to healing and growth is rarely a straight line. There will be ups and downs, periods of progress, and moments of setback. Patience allows us to be gentle with ourselves during the process. It reminds us that it's okay to take things one step at a time, and that progress is not always linear. The beauty of moving forward with grace is that it's not about rushing toward an end goal. It's about embracing the journey, knowing that each step, no matter how small, brings us closer to our true purpose. Patience gives us the space to breathe, to grow, and to trust that everything is happening in its own time. Moving forward with grace also involves extending that grace to others. As we navigate our own struggles and triumphs, we must remember that everyone else is on their own unique journey. The people may hurt us, disappoint us, or make mistakes along the way, but holding on to grudges or resentment only keeps us bound to the past. Offering grace to others means letting go of the need to hold them accountable for every wrong and choosing to see them as fellow travelers on this path of life. When we extend grace to others, we free ourselves from the burden of judgment and open ourselves to the beauty of understanding, empathy, and compassion. Moving forward with grace is about embracing the present moment. Often we get so caught up in what has happened or what might happen that we forget to fully experience the here and now. The present is the only time we truly have, and it is where we have the power to make choices, to heal, and to create. When we move forward with grace, we make the conscious decision to be present, to appreciate the small moments, and to fully engage with the life that is unfolding right before us. By embracing the present, we empower ourselves to create a future that is aligned with our true desires and values. Moving forward with grace is an act of self-love, self-compassion, and trust in the process of life. It is about accepting the ebb and flow of life's challenges, letting go of the past, maintaining a positive and open mindset, and surrendering to the wisdom of divine timing. But it is about moving forward with patience, understanding, and a sense of inner peace, knowing that each step, no matter how small, brings us closer to the person we are meant to become. Moving forward with grace allows us to face life's trials with courage, to learn from our experiences, and to emerge stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. It is the art of navigating life's journey with poise, dignity, and a heart full of hope. In conclusion, moving forward with grace is about embracing the fullness of life, the challenges, the triumphs, and everything in between. It requires us to accept, heal, and release what no longer serves us, while trusting in the process and timing of life. Through patience, self-compassion, and a positive mindset, we are able to navigate the ups and downs with dignity and strength. Moving forward with grace is not just a choice, but a way of being, one that allows us to grow, learn, and transform into the best version of ourselves. Thank you for taking this journey with me, and may you continue to move forward with grace, no matter where life leads you.